as close as a partner.
It's the 30th day of August 2025. Welcome to Current Agenda, is your news analysis authoritative platform that we discuss all the big news that's happened during the weekend that shapes national agenda. I am Maltiti Sadick. This morning I'm sitting in for Kujo Vance, but I entreat you to join us live on our social media handles at GTV Ghana. We're live everywhere. Website gbcghanaonline.com. Today we'll be delving into big issues. We are asking, what are your thoughts on the NPP's 5 flag-bearer aspirants, and what factors account for the poor showing of the 2025 BECE exams? These and more is what we'll be discussing on Current Agenda, your news analysis program. I'll say welcome to you again. Good morning, and I'll introduce my guests shortly. But the NPP's signature blue dominating Akwatia's political landscape. The question on everyone's and projections from Global Info Analytics indicating we'll take a closer look. And also Ghana's electoral spotlight shines on the Akwatia constituency as voters head to the polls on September 2, 2025 for the crucial by-election. The contest is sparked by the passing of the MPP MP NSDR Kumi pits against the NDC, the MPP in a closely watched showdown. But a key question remains: can the police ensure a peaceful vote and avoid a repeat of Abdekumanotsi chaos? Is what we are asking this morning. Meanwhile, the MPP's future leadership takes center stage as 5 candidates throw their hats into the ring for the party's 2028 flag bearership contest. And beyond politics, should Ghana's lands be vested in the state? The recent Gbenyiri violence has brought this question to the forefront, is what we'll also be exploring aside from the Akwatia by-elections. How chaotic is the situation in Gbenyiri in the Solatuna Kalba district? We will look at that. My guests will give you their thoughts, their perspectives. We'll also look at education. The 2025 BECE results have sparked concern with poor performance and rising exam malpractices. What's behind this trend and how can it be reversed? Is what my guests will be exploring this morning on Current Agenda. And as I said, I entreat you to follow us live everywhere across social media. Let us hear from you. Let us know your thoughts and your comments on these big issues that shape national discussions. But let me let you know that Bank of Africa understands that we all need some financial quick fix every now and then. Whether it's school fees, replacing that old refrigerator, or fixing the car engine to get back on the road, our quick fixed loan package was made with you in mind. Seize the opportunity and let you, through the times, make way for that soft life that you've been dreaming about. So visit any Bank of Africa branch near you today and enjoy unbeatably low interest rates, flexible terms, and straightforward application process. Call the Bank of Africa on 0302-429-333, alternatively 0302-249690, or you can chat Fafa at www.boaghana.com for more information. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group. And this is Current Agenda, your Saturday morning program. We'll take a break. When we're back, I'll let you know who my guests are and we'll dive into the conversation.
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm
The second coming.
into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trout from Kaswati. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
go be the luckiest. Kofi from Jojo be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
Senya God the apple boom. If you put it toy, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial star 712 #. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Liabgam Simula Ben Shadan Pierna Kamale, Carmel Bukata, Numina Zamanu Tambo, Zanjanda Liabgam Simple, now on this so.
Daga cikin muhimman rawa na azo a gani da Hausawa suka taka a cikin wannan ƙasa shine kafa zangonnai da suka zama gimshiki na cibiyoyin kasuwanci da fatauci. Ko shakka babu, shi ke karfafa ingantacciyar tattalin arziki da kuma karfafa al'adun gargajiya.
Waka ke aguna gbe ke bi ehian wa. Ke mo fian wa ke o bi abawe ni awele ka bu ye hu ni sanagu abagule. Ke vitamin A hu ni sanaha gbike sani ahale.
Chicho gberudo kokodi yakatoi. Enyai be angau hana mona chishipo iga chirodovania. Watang atrangau azunububuwe.
Sukuru no mo yeko buke adwunu. No ma na vi sukuru no bara. O te hu de bia ma donwane. Ba wa ya. Okay. Agreken mo re ngokwa ne ebonu jiman. E ma ya le wiade ne mu ane.
Adult education. Showing from Monday to Saturday at 5 p.m. only on GTV.
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447*333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
In a world where clean water and effective waste management are crucial, where well-designed roads and drainage systems are vital, and in a nation where innovation and technological progress are advancing, then the question will be, where is Ghana positioned in her urban development? What efforts are stakeholders making to ensure that our urban cities are livable? Join me and the professionals as we delve into the root causes and examine practical solutions, raise awareness, drive change, and strive for a cleaner and safer environment that can impact our daily lives. Watch Public Concern on GTV this and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Public Concern, the urban agenda.
GTV, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Culture means the way of life of a group of people.
The migration unit was actually set up under the Ministry of Interior to coordinate all migration issues in the country.
We feel that people who migrate get exposed to certain features which we behind don't find.
Over there, they give you the opportunity to excel.
I've been able to use what I know in the West to make sure I'm changing imagery about how they see Ghana, how they see other African countries.
One common thing that we have also been using to to showcase our culture is through funeral organizations.
I realize that the funerals are an incredible display of centuries-old tradition.
We do not know our history. It makes it very difficult for us to shape our future.
Watch Crossing Borders, Shaping Identities, a documentary showing soon on GTV, GBC News, and GBC Online.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a key link in the global supply chain. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to ensuring the enhancement, resilience, and sustainability of port infrastructure and maritime trade. Get to know which vessel is bringing your goods, how much duty you are required to pay, and how quickly you can clear your goods from the ports of Ghana. We ask the relevant questions and elicit responses from the appropriate authorities. We interact with you via our social media platforms and put your queries across to the expert. Eye on Port shows this and every Wednesday on GTV at 8:30 p.m. Eye on Port is proudly brought to you by and powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Eye on Port, transparency in doing business and building nations. Welcome back. This is Current Agenda, your authoritative news analysis program every Saturday morning on GTV. I am Maltiti, Sayida, Sadick, and this show is live across sport on GTV, Ghana, on social media, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, streaming on our website, gbcghanaonline.com as well. Today, big issues on the table. We're discussing the Akwatia by-election keenly coming on the 2nd of September. Also looking at the 2025 BECE results, the Gbenyiri conflict, among other big stories this morning. My guests who are at the table currently are Rashid Tanko Computer, his Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. Mr. Computer, good morning. Welcome back to the table.
Good morning.
Great to have you.
Yeah, let me say good morning to you and the cherished viewers, especially my good people from Bimbila and these environs. I wish them well.
Okay.
It's a matter of Damba. Okay.
Absolutely.
We are going to dance all over.
after the by-election.
Oh, it's a victory dance, of course.
Victory dance. Now, go back to say, Osae, because you have to get to Akwatia as for all the campaigns. Mr. Computer is not here alone. Isaac J. Hyde is the Deputy National Youth Organizer for the MPP. Mr. Hyde, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to, I say, Ghana, Accra, back to the table.
Well, thank you very much. I've been away on IYADU duties, and I mean, it's good to be back. Good morning to your cherished viewers too. I mean, the Ghanaians as well, my people are also celebrating the more festivals across the region, and so
there's a lot of festivity going on.
Exactly. So we wish every Ghanaian person out there happy.
And I will be joined in a short while by Mussa Dankwah, who's Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, Solomon Owusu, who is Senior Communicator M4C as well. On Zoom, joining us will be Emmanuel Kotin, who's Executive Director of Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. Dr. Oduro Osae is a governance expert, and so these will be my guests for the show. The show is brought to you by Africa Development Bank. You can watch the show, as I said, live across board on social media. Let's begin with the Akwatia by-elections. I'll begin with you, Mr. Computer. What does this election look like for the NDC, is it going to determine how the political landscape will be in Ghana?
Well, certainly, Akwatia is a must-win seat for the NDC. We have worked, in fact, over the week to make sure that all our strategies that we put in place will give us the needed victory. Okay. You know, we didn't just go into Akwatia because we felt like taking the seat. It's a seat that we won in 2024. We won the seat clearly. We were declared winners, but you know MPP with their collaborators, crooked electoral officers in those days, connived with them and took the victory away from us. They ran away from Akwatia and came all the way to Accra here, at Tesano police station, and got another person who described himself as a deputy returning officer. Mind you, CI 127, there's nothing like deputy returning officer, to declare them winners. That's what happened in the declaration of Akwatia. 2 declarations. So we went to court. We were following them in court over that matter. We filed an election petition at Kufridwa High Court, and there was an injunction on it. And even a contempt, we got contempt against the then MP. He followed it up to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court vacated the contempt and asked him to go back and continue the case at the Kufridwa High Court. So that the election petition, because it was very active, unfortunately he lost his life. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I mean, if we lose such an important personality, it means it's a loss to the state. Yeah, so we all have to mourn that. So it's a seat that we have been pursuing. It's not like out of blue, NDC felt like, let's go in because the MP died, we should go and contest. We were contesting the matter in court. So anybody looking at it shouldn't think that NDC just got up one day and said because MPP lost their MP, we want to go and slag it out and take the seat. No, it's a seat that we were contesting alone. We were following them in court over it because we wanted the court to remove the gentleman from Parliament.
So the over 2,000 votes difference that, was between Henry Boache at the time and Enes Kumi, you're saying it's null and void. That didn't happen. That was not authentic.
Yes, it wasn't authentic. It was a rigged votes. We have all the evidence. In fact, we gathered the evidence and we wanted to show the evidence before the trial judge to let them know that these 2,000 votes you are seeing, this is where it came from. We had all the evidence. Unfortunately, the matter didn't get to that point when we lost him. And so it's a progression. We're just following through what we wanted to do to make sure that we reclaim our seats that we won. And so we have put in a lot. Initially, we did the first primaries. We did primaries to elect our parliamentary candidate. At the time we were doing the primary, everybody was quiet. Nobody saw anything wrong. The MPP decided not to do primaries. You know their style of doing things. They always do the top-down, bottom. They are trying to change the political landscape of Ghana, top-down approach. So they decided to go and pick their treasurer to be their candidate. So no problem. Yes, that's their way of doing things. And then all of a sudden, we hear all manner of stories. NDC, MPP is begging us to stop. We shouldn't contest them. We shouldn't go in. We should allow it. What?
Did they beg?
Yes, of course, they have been begging. Look at the story of Afenyo Markin yesterday, the minority leader, my worthy brother, at the funeral grounds.
Did you hear his statement? When he said you were unashamedly
I'm saying that,
still going into the
that is what I'm
election.
saying. That listen to his statement clearly. You will see that it was laced with some kind of apologetic begging. That is what they were trying to do. And is it the first time an MP died and Ghanaians went in for by-election? Is it the first time? Do you want me to count the number of MPs who died and the by-elections we appeared? Severally. This is not the first time an MP died that we went into a by-election.
Okay.
And I'm saying that clearly we are saying that representation is key. And the people of Akwatia want a better representation. The research agenda is ongoing. They are living testimonies to it. The short period we've been in government. That is why the polls are showing that we are leading, because we have managed to sell the good works of His Excellency John Dramani to the people. They are seeing and they will say, yes, we are living testimonies. They are buying foodstuffs in the market. There are farmers over there. It's a major farming community. And then this galamsey thing too has come in over there. We are fighting it. You see, interestingly enough, this galamsey thing that we are talking of, do you know that it's a serious matter over there?
Right.
Yes, the security is battling it over there.
It's a diamond community.
Yes.
So.
Apart from the diamond aspect, there's another one where they are doing the galamsey this in the forest, most of the forest areas. So the security agents are positioned over there to deal with those matters.
Okay.
And so we are doing a lot for the community. And because
in the 8 months that you've been in
power, yes. I mean, we have changed their lifestyles. Their lifestyle has changed.
Okay.
They are seeing better Ghana.
In the 8 months. Speak to the polls that Global Info Analytics. We're expecting Mr. Mussa Dankwah here, but the polls that I see say that Solomon Asumeju is up by 49% votes, and Bernard Beidou is 43.8%. This seems to give the MPP an edge over the NDC.
This is the old polls. That was the time we hadn't gone there. We were still mourning our death.
This was still in this month of August.
I'm saying all that. The latest one, just the day before yesterday, the NDC is leading by 53% in that constituency. We have turned the tide. I've been in the constituency for the past week, and I can tell you the whole place, MPP is finished. That's why they misbehaved yesterday like that. They are frustrated because victory is staring the face of NDC, and massive defeat is staring the face of MPP. They've seen it coming live.
Yes.
And then so this 53%, in fact, we want to up it. We want by the close of Tuesday, we should be getting 57, because that is our mark. Okay. Their mark is 38% MPP. You know, they got 38 in 2024 election. So this is what we are trying to manage for them.
Okay.
And we are surely going to get it.
Let me bring in Mr. Hyde to weigh in on this. Does it look like Akwatia, said to be an MPP stronghold, is now a swing, constituency because of all the work that the NDC is alluding to have done to change the lives of the people in 8 months?
Well, thank you very much once again. I think, first of all, my condolences to the people of Akwatia and our good brother Ernest Kumi, who lost his life amidst all the heckling and attacks from the NDC. And Maltiti, contrary to the perception, Akwatia is not a stronghold of the NPP. It's a swing seat. Okay. Of the 9 elections which have been run there over the period, NPP has won 5, NDC has won 4. And if you look at the history of Akwatia from the 90s, it's been going back and forth. From Kisi Adumaku Kisi's time all the way to Baba Jamal. It's a constituency which has shown that, it's not stable for one end. But one thing that I'm very sure about is that the people of Akwatia would want to retain the NPP in these elections. It's unfortunate. The NPP is not begging the NDC to, not contest Akwatia branch to a brother. Of course, we did see him in Tamale. That is not to say that we expect the NDC to do same in Akwatia. We already know how they are. If you care to know, in the 2020 elections, this same Ernest Yakumi contested against the NDC candidate and lost by less than 2,000 votes. In fact, it was just a margin of about 1,157. At the time, there was no contention. Of course, with every election, there will be 1 or 2, noise here and there. But the NPP did not frustrate the NDC's candidate like they are doing today. As I speak to you, at a time when the NPP candidate won by over 2,000 vote margin, when the NDC themselves are very much aware of how any time Akwatia election comes up, it's totally contested. The margins have always been close. And today, that's a margin of 2,000 occurred, which happened in the 2024 elections. The NDC say they are not going to have any of that. If you saw some agitations within the constituency yesterday, by the constituency blame the NDC for the outcome of the unfortunate situation with their MP. That you cannot come to this funeral pretending as though you care so much about this gentleman when you know perfectly well that he won the elections, yet your actions and inactions contributed to his death. I beg to differ.
Actions and inactions contributed to the death of...
It's unfortunate.
How so?
But, traveling within the courts, even the court at some point in time set the issue aside and said that they should go back to, chasing him in parliament at some point in time. People have to be on the lookout to make sure that this gentleman comes. His only crime was that he sought to give the people of Akwatia a representation. Today, as I speak to you, if you go through the constituencies and the constituency and the various electoral areas of Akwatia, there's a charge among the people that they need to retain the NPP.
Okay.
For the number of people who have represented the NPP within Akwatia, almost every development within Akwatia, from Wenchi to Domia Bride, all the other electoral areas, the representation of the NPP is what has brought development to Akwatia. Today, our brother here says that as recent as 8 months ago, when the people at the helm of the Electoral Commission sort of supposedly rigged the election for the NPP, sometimes when the NDC is taking certain actions, they may not say it directly, but you see, you read between the lines and you see the clear character of the NDC. For us, it is not politics as usual. At some point in time, a nation must sit down to reflect on what the future holds for itself. This country, within this short time, has seen so much. We having to lose a number of our leadership in the circumspect in our choice of West. As a matter of fact, this is just an election. By close of Tuesday, we should be done with this process. Let us see to it that with some calm language and some reflection, we all sort of mobilize our people to go and vote in peace.
Okay.
Whoever emerges, which I believe that the NPP will be the victor by the close of Tuesday, we shall definitely have Akwatia having a representation in Parliament.
And what is backing you to have this firm belief? Talk to us about jobs, opportunities that you, because you have had the opportunity to have been there for 8 years as government.
First of all, we need to understand something. A government in opposition does not have the responsibility of providing jobs for people.
No, I mean when you were in power.
But the track record of the NPP in that constituency, and I focus on that constituency because that is the area in focus, it's already there to manifest. Today, I've seen the data from Mussa Dankwah. I disagree with a number of them, but I also identify as a researcher certain areas of interest. Education is critical going into this election because of the demography of the people who are going to vote in Akwatia. The education that we are touting today, a number of these people have been beneficiaries of Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo's free SHS. As a farming community, and the work that goes on in there, it's a mining community. Yes, the poverty rate is very high. But for the intervention of the New Patriotic Party, a number of these people would not have even been in education or have had a better education. Today, the NPP's intervention has guaranteed that. If you go into the constituency, NS Yaukumi, even under the circumstances, was still able to help people in opposition. I mean, when I say in opposition, even when the NDC post the 2020 elections, which he lost, he was still able to make sure that a number of people have gotten scholarships to study outside. The security services has been very instrumental in making sure that all the electoral areas had reflections within his contributions to the constituency.
Okay.
So for us, it's development. With the NPP, the number of roads which have been done there, the market center which have been done there. In fact, if you go to the main Akwatia township, you know about the central lorry station, which the NPP collectively has contributed to. So for us to identify with the political party that has been loyal to them, not the one that is showing up because they see another election and they have come to contest.
Okay. Yesterday, the NDC went to solidarize with the community in the Eastern region for, the memorial of the late MP, and there were some tensions. They were hooted at. Some of the members of the community tried to prevent the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Eseidin Ketia, from leading the candidates and the entourage into the grounds of the funeral to also solidarize. I mean, the security were able to help them finally get into the grounds. We saw them exchanging pleasantries with the former president, President Akufo-Addo, and the former Vice President, Dr. Baumia, and some other MPP bigwigs who were therein gathered. But unfortunately, these skirmishes we saw trying to mar a memorial that was held in honor of the late MP, which was quite unfortunate. Mr. Computer, I'll give you a word on this. The energy between the parties, there are 3 candidates going into this, the NDC, the MPP, LPG, but the seeming tensious energy between the MPP and the NDC in the neck of this election, 5,000 police officers deployed to the grounds and all of that. And still.
You see, the language of my brother is not epitomized by what is going on in Akwatia by the MPP. You see, that's why I'm saying the NPP, they must be watched closely. They must be watched closely. I was with their leadership at a meeting held by the IGP, the National Election Security Task Force. They came there, led by the former Interior Minister and 2 other officers. They are national organizer, and then the COP or DCOP Ofuri, the former police officer. He's now with them. We had these whole discussions about the deployment of the police for Akwatia. They told us everything. They brought their concerns. Everybody addressed his concerns, and then they will look at it critically. How we are going to combat the place and make sure that there's peace at the place. And we'll go about our business without anything. They are deployed about 5,000, and they've mounted a lot of roadblocks and checks all over the place. But you see, MPP, they are chameleons. They are chameleons. The MPP told the police at the meeting that they don't trust them. They told them.
At that meeting where your preferences were supposed to be.
They said they don't trust the police. And you know what they were raising? The issues they were raising. Ablekumanov, the one polling station about how Akumsen and all that.
But it happened.
Okay, I'm coming. You see, when they are speaking, I say, just watch them. You know what happened at the Ablekumanov. We all know what happened at the Ablekumanov, at that one polling station.
Right.
It takes 2 to tango. Do you know that pepper spray is described as a dangerous weapon in one of the list of weapons that are not allowed at polling stations during election? Pepper spray is one of them. Somebody in the morning prepared herself, dressed well, took her handbag, and put pepper spray inside the bag. What was her intention? Going to election. What was premeditated?
Pepper spray can be used for self-defense as well.
Is that what you are saying? In Ghana, we should all go about handle weapon because we say self-defense. What kind of abyss are we going to fall into? You are going to election, 19 polling station. You are not even accredited to go to that polling station. She came there with her accreditation. She didn't have any badge to show that she's accredited. In any case, their general secretary announced to the whole world that they were not contesting that election. Is that not true? Everybody heard them. That they were not contesting that Ablekumanov. Nobody should go there. They said all manner of stories about it. Less than 12 hours, all their leaders rubbish the statement of the general secretary and went in there. They should have been declared. I was telling the EC officer, you should have declared them persona non grata because they announced that they are not going into the election. But they came there ostensibly to cause commotion and make sure that the election is mad. That was their intention. She met her mater over there. When she starts spraying the pepper spray over there, and that unfortunate incident happened, we all condemn it. They beat it. Because it's not good to beat a lady. No, you should respect them. They are mothers. Okay. I get it. Good. We all condemn. But you see, you should also know that you are TLC, tender loving care people. And so don't fall into an abyss where you think that people will sidestep it and give you the hell of trouble that she got. Why was she holding pepper spray and everything that? Now they've arrested them, prosecuted them, got conviction. 8 of them. How Akumsi is walking free? Why is she not arrested?
They're still under investigation from what I know.
Good. So we are waiting. The kind of investigation that will come out from it and what kind of action the police will take about her. So that others will learn from it. But interestingly enough, look at the uncivilized nature of what happened yesterday.
What was the intention of the NDC's leadership going there?
Hold on. We are Ghanaians. The gentleman was a state property. He was voted and we had issues with the way he was voted. So we went to court. The Constitution allowed that. If my brother is voted and I feel that the proper way of declaration was not done, I can challenge it in court. That's what the Constitution says, right? So we're challenging the matter in court. That doesn't mean that we dislike the man or we hated him. That's not the case. We lost 5 of our gallant men in an aircraft crash, plus 3 soldiers. It was a national tragedy. The MPP came there, their leaders came there. We started mourning them with their leaders. When we had a night of vigil and all that, they came in the night. They were with us at the State House. Nobody raised a finger against any of them. People were grieving. Nobody. We accommodated all of them. We allowed them, we opened out the places for them to the final day, the Friday national burial that we did. All of them came there. I'm sure my brother, if he was around, he would have visited the place because all of their leaders, we met there. We had nice mourning for and gave them befitting burial.
But how does that make the people who were agitating
That is what I'm
NPP?
saying. Why is it that...
have been civilians, Ghanaians, normal Ghanaians who were grieving.
My dear, this is a national mourning. Because that is an MP. He was not removed from parliament. Don't forget. The court had not removed him from parliament. So he was still a member of parliament.
Right.
So it's a state property. This is a state funeral. Our leaders went there with our candidate to mourn with them. Then you attack them.
Who are these people?
Look at them.
Have they been identified to be members of the NPP?
Can't you see that? The thing is even beaming live on your cameras. You are still asking are they to be identified. Look at them there. Look at them fly MPP colors and say all manner of stories. Okay. Now today, if they go and pick them, we have issued a statement. In fact, we have issued a statement asking that those people should be identified and arrested and dealt with. They were attacking our candidate and attacking our national chairman. And head of doing this, if the police zoom in and pick her, look at her. They said another lady. And they see when somebody had issued a heavy blow on her face, then everybody will be here saying that we should condemn it. I'm here to see a statement from your group, MPP, condemning the action of what happened.
Let me let Isaac...
Because this is clearly uncivilized in our Ghanaian culture self. We don't allow this.
Okay.
Because when we are mourning the dead, we put aside all our differences, mourn the dead. That's how they laugh. We laugh each other, like each other. When it comes to funeral, we put aside our differences, go mourn the people who have lost their life. And after that, we come back to our troubles and then continue our troubles again.
Okay.
But we don't do this at the funeral.
Isaac,
and they said the one piece.
Was it premeditated? Did you plan to make the funeral grounds hostile for the NDC's leadership when they came to commiserate with the family and the community? As Mr. Tanko has said, he was a member of parliament and he belongs to the state.
Well, I should say once again that for the people of Akwatia, has been a matter of distrust for the NDC. Much as I don't associate myself to the happenings of that, but I can also understand the feeling of the people of Akwatia. That this is a young man who went into an election with you, the same NDC people, and lost by 1,157. He bowed out without any contention. Then today he wins an election by 2,000 votes. In a constituency where you people know very well that it is highly contested at any elections, it is very marginal in previous elections in terms of outcomes. And today, with a margin of 2,000 people, you guys are refusing to accept. And so for the people of Akwatia, they blame the NDC for the loss of their MP. The people are only venting and expressing what they are going through and their feelings about the NDC. Much as perhaps, if you leave it to me, I would have used a different medium. I think that they have a right to express how they feel. Then again, my big brother here also makes reference to the fact that at the Election Security Task Force meeting, the NPP came to exercise some reservations about the police service. But where else could the NPP have gone to say there are issues with the police service? That is the platform. If processes are functions of outcomes, then at the end of the day, where else could the NPP have gone to say they are distrust with the police service? And the NPP has grounds for the position that they have taken. Today, I'm surprised that my brother is still justifying the actions of Ablekuma North. They've just gone behind some sham processes to go and put some 8 people up and then place some 6,000 cities of, courts, sanctions on them.
Which people say is...
Hawa Kumsin is not the only person that was attacked at Ablekuma North. My colleague, Chris Lloyd, we all saw on TV how hoodlums of the NDC sitting in tracks of the national security and other unidentified vehicles went straight to that particular police himself, beating mercilessly in that same Ablekuma North because a group of people believe that their government has come to power. Now you talk about pepper spray. This woman didn't just go there and ended up, spraying pepper spray around. Most women today have pepper spray as a matter of self-defense in their bags. Who knows who could attack them?
Which could also be said to be a premeditated weapon to cause harm to people. So there are two sides of the coin.
Let's even assume that where you are coming from is the issue. She didn't just go about attacking people. She was standing there. It was preemptive. She saw people charging at her. She saw over 20 police officers at that particular polling station looking on as men.
charged at her, if you were Hawa Kumsin and you see your life under threat, what would you have done? The least you could have done was a pepper spray, because I'm sure that if any other person had a gun, it would have been different. And we know that all these things are finding their way into the system.
What stopped her from declaring the pepper spray before she went in?
Who is she declaring to?
The security
No, but who
men
is she? My
right
point is that you have seen the video. Who is she declaring to? As a matter of fact, she was standing by another colleague, Dankwah Newman, the former MP for Okankwe South, who, I mean, together they were just standing having a conversation, and we saw how the men jumped off the tracks because they had been told where to go and who to look for. Went straight to the policemen. The policemen were trying to stop them.
They were told to look out for how Akumsin.
And they charged straight at her.
The gender minister,
she could see that these men are coming at me. For whatever reason, when they also came, they didn't also ask the question. The police service and the other security officers, those in plain clothes and everything, tried as much as possible to restrain the men. They went through them. Today, we have been told that some 8 people have been put before, courts, and this is just a sham process.
Okay, so the police,
it's already reflecting in our peace index.
So the police tried to stop the hoodlums, and then you went to that meeting. The police
could have done better.
Okay, so when you went to the meeting and you raised your grievances, were they addressed? Why do you still have to take the position that you don't trust the police?
But the NPP has to make its case so that the police is aware.
Okay.
That we expect more from you.
Do you trust the police now? 5,000 policemen will be there. I'm sure you've seen the setup barricades.
We can only tell, you see, the outcome will be based on what we experience from this thing. Because history tells us that the police has not been forthright with us. Its actions and inactions has told us that it has been biased in recent times. We are hoping that the outcome of Akwatia elections, the police will be firm, the police will be unbiased, and the police will let the people's outcome reflect in that election. But they should not go and pick on the side of the NDC and help them navigate their way through some of the barriers they set up and help the NDC smuggle in some of their weapons and their henchmen.
The police who are supposed to serve the Ghanaian public will be on the side of the NDC and smack of bias.
We have what it is and what it ought to be. We know what the police are supposed to do, but as to whether they are doing that is a question that needs answers.
What demands has the MPP given the police? Because that's the only security agency that will be on the ground.
And I've told you that today we are talking about Hakumsin. But what is the position of the police on the Chris Lloyd case? We only saw the police issue a statement about. In any case, all the persons who attacked Hakumsin, they were more than 8. We saw them in the videos. What about Chris Lloyd? What about the other people who were equally attacked?
The matter is still under investigation.
Today we are only mentioning Hakumsin's name because she's the one we know.
The matter is still under investigation because even journalists were attacked.
Who were equally attacked at that same place. I'm not saying that previous actions by other persons should be swept under the carpet.
Okay.
That is why government is a continuous process. Okay. All other issues can be investigated. But nothing stops us as a political party from raising issues issues that we've identified that the police has not dealt well with the NPP.
Will the Honorable Hawa Kumsin go to Akwatia and Lloyd and all the other people that were attacked, and that you feel that, it's sensitive when they appear in these places? Because we know they're gunning for certain national positions.
I don't know how sensitive it is for a person to go out there, Ghanaian, to live on the Ghanaian soil. It only became an issue under NDC. Today, the NPP is more united than ever. And we shall go to Akwatia. We shall go to Akwatia and march with the people.
For brandishing a weapon and some chaos, in her constituency during elections. So you don't think that's why Ghanaians, whoever attacked her, have that at the back of their mind?
Who has proven her guilty of an allegation? Innocent until proven guilty. The fact that people make allegations at her, the fact that people cast aspersions at her and raise all manner of issues against her, does not make her guilty.
Okay.
And if indeed we then say again that the very system, the very police that the NDC believes in, through the processes.
How true are sentiments that you're going to ensure that your vigilante groups are also on standby at Akwatia to ensure that you are not manhandled, allegedly?
The NPP, and today, one of the sins of the current national officers of the NPP is that they stood by and took steps together with the Akufo-Addo administration to see to the disbandment of vigilante groups, or what you call the security forces of the various political parties.
Mm-hmm.
But for the NPP, it's a matter of principle. At every point in time, the nation of Ghana comes first. And so if the NPP took steps to disband any affiliated security force or whatever you call it, and the NDC chose that for them it is politics as usual. For them, every election is a matter of victory. There's nothing like Ghana. And they still want to influence these people to go and perpetuate a mayhem. For the NPP, we cannot say that we are going to go back to, mobilizing security forces to protect ourselves. But the NPP as a political party and its members would defend itself when the need arises. The NPP as a political party would defend its members at any point in time.
Lawfully or unlawfully?
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary.
Whether even you're breaking the law. Hyde,
there's no need for us to break the law.
You're the national
I'm
youth,
saying that.
deputy
Yes,
national
and let
youth
me
organizer.
reemphasize.
Then you know that these hoodlums are from youth groups.
The NPP disbanded its forces on the back of the reports and recommendations of the Ayawaso West Committee.
Right.
And we have no regrets for doing so. Because we are law-abiding citizens, but it doesn't make us cowards. So if the NDC and the state machinery will go behind hoodlums, give them resources and weaponize them to keep attacking us, for us, we may not go back to going to mobilize vigilantes to come and cause mayhem in this country.
How is
because
the enemies
that
necessary?
is a threat to the peace and security of this country. But as human beings and as individuals, at any point in time, when the NPP is attacked, moving forward, especially when the security services have shown that time and again, they are not ready to defend our people, we shall defend ourselves. And we shall defend ourselves by any means necessary. Take that away from me.
I want us to understand how, by any means necessary, you're going into the Akwatia by-elections, and then you're saying that, you've disbanded your vigilante groups. The police has assured you of all the strategies they have put in place to ensure. I even heard this morning that the commander says that any personal bodyguard, security person who is carrying a weapon following any political party member, they will confiscate it before you go to the grounds. You said that you don't trust the police. You went to that meeting with the police. You were supposed to iron out your differences and your grievances. And you're saying by any means necessary, you're going into this election.
We went into a meeting and raised our reservations about how the police have handled previous issues. That is not to say that we don't regard the police as having a job to do.
So your grievances have been settled?
No,
you are okay?
I'm saying that we raised issues based on previous experiences with the police. It is our expectation that the police will live up to its task going into this election. Be that as it may, we are going to go into this election peacefully. We are not raising any vigilante groups because we've disbanded it.
But you defend
in the interest of the state.
You defend yourself by any means
we
possible.
Are saying, what is the essence of defense? Defense is a subject of attack. We are saying that for us, we are going in peace. And I've told you, when I came on this set, I said that we would want to even be measured in the choice of our words. We are looking at Ghana as a collective. We are looking at uniting as a people to make sure that election is just a process. Let's just go and vote and go home in peace. But an impression should not be created that the NPP is a bunch of cowards because a certain group decided not to disband their security services. Today, we do not have security services. What we have is an innocent group of people who identify as a political party, who are law-abiding. We are only going to Akwatia to go and vote. We are not interested in violence.
Okay.
But then, we are ready to defend ourselves.
Right. Thank you, Isaac. I'll give you, Ms. Tanko, a word, but I want us to go on Zoom and speak to Emmanuel Kotin, who is Executive Director, Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. I did say earlier in the show that he's joining us via Zoom. Dr. Oduro, Osae, governance expert, will be joining us on Zoom, but we have Kotin on Zoom now. Hello, Mr. Kotin. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Current Agenda.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. And very good morning to your production team.
Right.
And to my good friend Jay of the NPP and my good brother Alaji Tanko.
Okay. Do you get the sense that the political parties, the sentiments fly high? Now the NPP is saying they don't trust the Ghana Police Service on the back of what happened in that rerun in Ablekuma. They'll defend themselves with any means possible or through any means. Does it seem that it's inciting the Ghanaian people to mistrust the only security agency that will be on the grounds on September 2 to ensure that this election goes smoothly to its logical conclusion?
Well, as security watchers, this is what we have always preached in the past. But as always, we pretend these things don't happen. But there's a saying in our Ghanaian parlance that if your mother dies and you say she's not dead, when she starts rotting, the stench will expose you. Indeed, the MPP just came out of government only barely 8 months ago. So if they're saying they are not trusting the police, it confirms most of the things we have said in the past. And when NPP was in government, the NDC never trusted the police. And listening to my two colleagues, you see that there's still tension between the two political parties. And that goes to the fall of how we are polarized as a country on political lines. Whether bad or good, we have to defend our party at all costs. Also, I heard my good friend Tanko mentioned the former ACP, Kwesi Ofori, was on the side of the MPP when they met the National Elections Task Force. Indeed, you remember the incidents of Ayawaso and other places where he led the charge. And there were a lot of accusations around them. I'm saying this because I want to bring an issue so that as a country, we look at how we can digest and find solutions to some of these things. We shouldn't allow senior police officers to become political to that level. And even NPP accepting him to be among the delegation is so inductive. Even though there's freedom of association, but events of the past should have made the MPP very cautious about what it is. But I want to caution both political parties. Look, I don't see Akwatia to be the issue of supremacy. It's a moment of reflection, and everybody kind of feels sorry for the bereaved family. But what we witnessed in Akwatia, MP Kumi, I was not Ghanaian at all. That a woman who attacked the General Secretary of the NDC for what? And I'm expecting the MPP to condemn such act in no uncertain terms. It has no place in our body politic. And I think that the security agencies should make sure that after the whole exercise, crime does not expire. They should review the videos, and all those who perpetrated those acts are kind of arrested and dealt with to serve as a deterrent. I had counter-argument over the presence of my good sister Howard Kumsen at Ayawasu North, the basis of which the MPP say they don't trust the activities of the police. There are two things here. For Howard Kumsen to put pepper spray in her bag to an election and get to the inner perimeter where she was not even accredited to be there is quite premeditated, especially given the history around her. It doesn't matter if she's a woman or a man, but my good friend Jay is struggling to defend some of these things. But for political expediency, I can't fault him for some of the things he was saying. But crime is crime. Crime has no color. And I think that as a nation, we need to condemn actions of this nature, then it doesn't repeat itself. Now, the conviction of the 8 Ablekumanov suspects. You see, my brother Tanko, justice must not seem merely to be done. Justice must be deterrent to serve a particular purpose. To go and sin no, so they are not going to feel it. So I think it's about time we start giving custodial sentences to serve as deterrents, because electoral violence of this nature can plunge the country into very serious chaos and sometimes civil war, like we've seen in other places. You remember Rwanda? It was just a radio presentation like this, someone called on a particular ethnic group to cleanse the others, and you know what happened. And to me, it's not an NDC or an NPP problem when it comes to some of these prosecutions. Because on the NPP, you saw what happened in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, when the Regional National Security Coordinator was attacked. What was the punishment? Penalty unit. Even when the judge was even attacked, the law courts didn't have the balls to serve deterrent sentences. So we can't continue this way as a country. We have to do everything possible to safeguard the peace and sanity of our democracy. To the police, I think that so far, the arrangements they have put in Akwatia, some of us are revising our notes because the Inspector General of Police has proven he's a listening person, a listening leader, and as an intelligent-led and operational person as it is, he has taken some of the commentary some of us have made into consideration. I'm not sure the number of policemen in Akwatia will even be up to 3,000 or 2,000. What they have rather done, per the review I saw, was to put systems in place, like we have always called. So if you go to Akwatia today, there are a lot of roadblocks for screening, and I think plans are underway to get some layers of security leading to the inner parameters of the voting centers. And they have also adopted technology. If you look at the setup in Akwatia, they have kind of put the entire map of Akwatia by way of technology, and you can view it remotely and see any activity that is going on within the enclave. And that is the way to go. It's better to preempt than waiting for situations to happen and then, my only disappointment is when the police met the political parties. I mean, the National Election Task Force met the political parties. I think one of the political parties did not agree to the arrangement that 24 hours or 48 hours to the election, if you are not a voter, you should be out of Akwatia. And I agree, some of these things you can impose on the political parties. But we feel that should have been enough grounds to stop the political vigilante grouping from going there. My brother Jay spoke about the political vigilante groups. Yes, I think on the part of MPP, they have been committed to that charge. If you observe what happened at Abilikuma, it was Basatele and his group that went there with the motorbikes and started making noise, and the MPP also started calling on their blue armies to come. We don't want that kind of situation in Akwatia. We don't want any motor riders or whatever in the name of youth activism in Akwatia. It's just a simple by-election. And to me, it is the moment of truth for the two political parties. It's not as a particular political party. It has really. So they just need to calm down, allow the good people of Akwatia to determine who becomes their MP.
Okay, thank you.
Because politically, it's not going to have any effect on the numbers in parliament at all, because the NDC has their absolute majority already. And the issue of morality, when it comes to popularity in politics is not about morality at all. And for the fact that MPP is not contesting the Tamale Central by-election doesn't mean that NDC cannot contest the Akwatia at all. And yesterday, I also observed something, and my brother Mussa Tanko raised it. And Neskumi is a state property. He was a 7 MP. The only point of departure here is our tradition that the dead belongs to the family. If this funeral was organized by the arrangement between the family and the state, which would have been the ideal situation, I don't think what we witnessed would have been saying it. But what did we see? We politicize it. And I want to thank the NDC for showing leadership by attending the funeral. If they hadn't gone, it would have been a different political message. Now they are there, they were attacked. And I think that it's a dent on our democracy, and NPP, as a matter of agency, might issue a statement distancing itself from some of these things. It doesn't speak well of our democracy.
What confidence do you think the security agencies led by the IGP can instill? I mean, we're just days away from that September 2 by-election. Can instill in the MPP, which seems to be taking the position that they are preparing regardless and they don't trust the police because of what has happened in previous places, and the NDC as well. What can they do as the other opposition in this battle, or in this election, I should say, to stem the tide of the tension that's going on between the two political parties, and let the MPP have confidence that they are not going to be there to foment trouble, because people to come shake up the election grounds on D-Day. The police has been assuring the general public, who will be the ones to go and line up to vote, not to be scared to come out. I mean, how did we get here as a people? Hello, Kotin, this was to you.
Police are on top of them. Have to depend on the stakeholders, and that's the MPP and the NDC. That's why it's troubling when MPP is saying that they don't trust the police. And I heard my brother alluding to the fact that if in the worst case scenario, they'll take every possible means to defend themselves. We are not going to war. We are going to an election. And what I also noticed is that the people of Akwatia are resolved to go out and cast their votes. It doesn't matter the intimidation and the level of police presence in Akwatia. That's why some of us were not happy with the numbers initially mentioned by the IGP. And
so, network skirmishes here and there. We'll get back to Mr. Emmanuel Kotin, who is on Zoom, and he was espousing the thoughts on security situations and how the major political parties can instill confidence in each other and the general public, the voters, the electorates that will be going there to vote on September 2nd. Let me come back to you, Mr. Tanko.
You see, my dear, MPP, you left power just some 8 months ago. They ruled this country for 8 years. Is that not true? Good. He's talking of vigilante. That's why we are where we are. Under their regime, we have what we call a state-sponsored tax. They made sure that all these, they are vigilante, they migrated them into the state security and put them into an organ of taggery, where they will go and unleash violence on innocent Ghanaians in the name of the state. Ayawasu West War. It wasn't their vigilante who went and caused that. It was the state. The state-sponsored taggery that led to the beating of our MP. Honorable Sam George was slapped over there by this state-sponsored tax. The Azugu marks, those Azugu guys. Where are they? Where are they? That was the highest of hypocrisy that you can think of. They didn't have any this thing. The thing they were talking of that they had this. They had state-sponsored vigilantism. So when they were passing that act, the act was targeting the opposition, NDC, and other political parties, not the MPP, because they had migrated all these their tax into the state. As soon as they set up that committee, you heard what happened when they brought some of them to come in and testify before a short commission. I'm sure the footages are there. Some of them did not even understand why they were put in the national security. They said they just called them and send them to some training for 2 weeks and show them how to handle weapons and all that. They were saying it over there.
Who were saying it?
The Azugu boys. You know the Azugu guys who were beating people with chains and all manner of things. This, Hyde, have you so soon forgotten about that? Not even a foul has been prosecuted since then. Look, Techima South, broad daylight, state-sponsored killing of innocent people during elections. Shot them, just kill 8 of them, gun them down. Even at your background here, Accra here, Ablekuma Central, killed innocent people during elections. Has a file, did they manage to even arrest one file? No. Up to now, you can't even trace anything until we are back to power that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ordered that investigation should go into that matter. We won't allow it to rest. Just one police station, somebody was slapped, just a slap. And you were crying all over the place.
Mr. Tanko, can a slap be just?
People are 6 feet.
It was still violent.
I say people are 6 feet.
The same violence that you
today.
condemn.
Look, will you prefer slap to a 6 feet? Which one will you pick?
I think the general public who go and vote would
I'm
not
saying that. So that's yes, and I'm
all.
saying that as much as we condemn it, they should be magnanimous in condemning their government for unleashing this state tragedy against innocent Ghanaians at the 8 years. I'm not surprised they gave them 38%. They are not learning their lessons. And today they are there crying all over the place, saying that we're beaten, we're this and that is. The police, as of now, the NDC has not added one person into the police setup. 8 months in government, we have not recruited anybody. We haven't.
And the man at the,
I'm saying
at
that
the helm of affairs,
was
the
it not the
IGP?
IGP was a deputy IGP appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo, his government. When you appoint somebody as deputy to the IGP, what are you doing? Are you not preparing him to take over as an IGP? What are they talking about? The leadership who are election as enough, we all went in there. We supported them. We didn't send vigilantes there. Kumawu, we didn't send vigilantes there. We followed you through. We had confidence in the police setup. We didn't say we are going to defend ourselves. In the general election, look at all our renditions. You interviewed me several times. Was there any of my interview that I said we didn't trust the police and therefore we're going to get our people to protect us during the election? No. Our issue was against the Electoral Commission.
Right.
That's how we're charging on the Electoral Commission because we had issues with them, but not the police. So for the MPP, just 8 months down the lane, for them to come and say they don't trust the police, there might be something wrong that they are hiding from us. They know something that we are not aware. And I think we have to commission somebody to investigate that matter. It appears they are hiding something from us. They are no more in power, so they don't have the luxury of state power. And so they're thinking that something they were doing when they were in power, they cannot do it now. So they must go back to their old tricks. That is what they are trying to do. And I'm telling you, you see this Akwatia thing, they have already shown us a bit at the funeral. They've showed us what they intend doing. In fact, they will be dealt with by the state security. The IGP, I'm happy he was there. And saw those people.
These people are yet to be, investigated and identified as people sent by the MPP to disrupt that the NDC.
They were there. They were holding MPP flags and chanting MPP songs, insulting and trying to beat up our candidate and our national chairman. Thank God they didn't touch our national chairman. It would have been different, They were lucky some of us were not around that place.
You take the law into
No, not take our law. It takes two to tango. You raise hand against my national chairman, who raise hand against you.
Who is going to be you being who?
I'm saying that look,
two to tango.
So it takes two to tango.
The attacker and then the attacker,
yes.
Who is supposed to protect you, lives and property?
It's a funeral ground. Did you see police there? Did you see police wearing their distance and holding
arms? So there should have been provision for police to be at the funeral, knowing how contentious that ground is.
We took it that this is funeral by our culture.
Mr. Tanko,
let me tell you, by our culture.
From what you have seen with the elections, Mr. Tanko, you're the Deputy Director of Elections in Ghana, and how volatile the scene has been for what? How many years now in the lead up to the 2024 elections? And then now, you still went in there believing that people who were, disgruntled, mourning, crying for the loss of an MP who had been in court back to back, being pursued by the NDC for what you said was, results that were declared not in favor of your candidate or wrongfully declared and all of that. You didn't expect emotions to go high, and so you didn't make provision for the state security to follow the national executives of your party to the ground.
Let me tell you. When the news broke that the plane crashed, my boss was part of it. Do you know what went through us? Do you know what we were also all thinking? as Ghanaians and the good people of NDC. My boss led the charge for us to defeat MPP and gave them this massive defeat they've never seen in their life since 1992. We decimated them, and he led the charge. So should we also go to this thing and be thinking of some ill motives of certain things? Were we not grieving to lose such a gem in the election? We accommodated all manner of this thing. Look, all manner of stories that were flying, people were flying stories all over. As leadership, we didn't take it serious. We dispersed that. No. It's a national tragedy. Let's face it.
Yes, Mr. Tanko.
Good. That's what I'm saying. Well, listen. If you losing such people, so we didn't pay election. Oh, it didn't. We have a by-election in Tamale. Our MP also died in that crash. We were not also grieving. This and distancing themselves from this. But they're quiet. They use the same platform and we're condemning NDC. Saying all manner of palatable story about NDC on that platform. Is it fair? Is that the kind of life we want to live? And I'm telling you that, look, we are not going to go into it. We've never gone to any election with vigilantes, or we have never organized attacks to go into election to disrupt any processes. That is why we train our people.
How about the attacks that were at Ablekuma North in, as Jay has mentioned, national security vehicles?
Where? National security vehicle?
Jay just said it here.
He should produce evidence. He's here. If he has the evidence, the police are still, and he's holding this thing. He's keeping this thing to himself. He could be cited for keeping vital information from the state. When you have this information, go and give it to the state. And the state will deal with the people who went there. As much as we are concerned, there was no national security vehicle over there. And there's no story whatsoever. Your cameras ran through all these things. This person, nobody has mentioned anywhere that they were using national security vehicles. No, we are not like them. I said they know something they are hiding from you people.
You didn't deploy any Azugu masks?
Did you see any Azugu masks there? Did you see anybody wearing Azugu mask at that place? Did you see anybody?
But this is something you said that you in opposition, you went diplomatically to all of the incidents that happened, the by-elections that happened in the MPP's administration. And so you don't use violence.
That is why we don't use violence. And I'm saying that this one, you see, Hyde is not telling you something. I don't know whether you were in the Ablekuma. My good sister, Hawa Kumsin, was not accredited. That's one. Illegality. She was not supposed to be there. That's one. Two, she had pepper spray, an illegal weapon, in her bag, coming there. So she has too trouble to herself on that day. She came to the polling station and began asking innocent questions. Or say, no, ignorant questions, not innocent. Ignorant questions. The first question she asked was, why is MPP having one party agent here? Why is it that they want to steal, they want to do things against MPP? She didn't even know there's a parliamentary election. In parliamentary election, you deploy only one party agent. And this is a former MP. So you see the problem of MPP, they don't train their people. They won't even train them to understand the electoral processes very well. So they go and be asking ignorant questions at polling station, creating confusion. When she asked this question, they were trying to explain to her that, she won't listen. She was throwing her tantrum. You know her style. She was throwing tantrums over there. That's why I say it takes two to tango. The people around there also saw that, this woman, what kind of confusion are you trying to create at that polling station? That led to that. So when they started coming towards her, then she pulled out that thing. I know she's a jack of all trades. She's been pulling her guns all over.
Police officers.
I'm saying that rescued her.
What are your grievances? What are
before
your
they proceed
about?
that is
so
it.
that because they are election officers.
That
on
is
the
why
ground.
I said that when they tried to explain to her, she wouldn't understand. She was still thinking that MPP should have two party agents there.
Okay.
This ignorant way of doing things. And then when they start to talk, she starts spraying pepper spray.
Hyde, among your grievances with the police,
that is the
problem. Are you addressing grievances within your party about your members who will be going there without accreditation, carrying weapons that are said to also be premeditated to cause harm to the electorate who are going to vote at the polling, 119 of them?
Let us not allow the NDC to set questions and answer it themselves. I refuse to accept that any lady who carries pepper spray in her bag, she didn't go about spraying pepper spray around. She was carrying it in her bag. But for today, I didn't know how Akumsin went about asking questions as to who is where other polling agents are.
Okay, but granted,
and I'm
you've
not
heard
sure
it.
you have even heard that before.
And he's
Again,
saying that.
Even if she asked those questions, was it the duty of NDC vigilantes to come and answer that question?
Mr. Tanko has not said those were NDC vigilantes.
Exactly. So if he raises those questions, how then did NDC vigilantes just emerge out of nowhere to come and attack her because she's come to ask questions? Let's even assume that is true. And I maintain your video, your station have kept showing that video a number of times. I have seen the number of police officers, many in uniform. They couldn't even hold any of those people to ransom at that point. They couldn't even stop them. How do we justify this? How do we justify this? As a matter of fact, Owusu was not the only person that was attacked. Check the video. The gentleman that was going, he was beaten mercilessly by the vigilantes. The other time that I was on your set, I came here with some car numbers. Unfortunately, your station decided that
these are
they
the
were not going to.
Cars
these are
that
vehicles.
You said, the vehicles
these
that
are
carried
vehicles.
These tasks.
These are vehicles which brought some of these vigilantes.
National security
Perhaps
vehicles.
We would have to verify. My question at the time was that national security is in the best position to answer where those vehicles came from.
Absolutely.
Whether it came from the state, whether it came from the party, whether it came from individuals. National security is in the best position because they have all the tools and resources to tell us how these vehicles transported these hoodlums to come and attack individuals. Because I have maintained that anybody can break the law, but it is not everybody's responsibility to hold people accountable for breaking the law because there are structures of the state, security services who have a duty to do so, and especially at a place where the security services were present. So my senior brother should stop setting questions and answering it himself. That is not where we are going. Again, he's raised issue about NPP raising questions with the security services. Our listeners and viewers must understand this. NPP hasn't gone about going into this election making noise about the role of the police. NPP hasn't done that. NPP went into a meeting and he brought it up here. Perhaps, but for him bringing it up here, a number of the general public would not have even known what had gone on in that meeting. All that NPP has focused on is to go into this by-election peacefully, mobilizing our base, making sure that we go through the elections peacefully. There's no other better place NPP could have raised any issues or concerns. If it is easy, you go to IPAC. If it is the security services or the police, you go to the Election Security Task Force. That is the essence and the purpose for which that body was created. So if NPP raises questions there, it is only right that those questions can be addressed. It is only out of raising those questions and feeling that it's been addressed that you actually walk out of that meeting being confident and satisfied that things are in place for you to go into that election. NPP is yet to hold a press conference chastising the police in Akwatia. NPP hasn't done that.
Okay.
The only thing NPP has done is to mobilize its base to go into this election. And I've maintained that NPP will go through these elections. And we are looking at the Ghana first. We're not interested in violence.
Mr. Tanko said you have been used to using violence when you were in power or when the NPP administration governed this country. And
yes,
so
see,
that's why you do not trust the police.
In recent times, but for the proliferation of television and social media, it looks as though Owusu West Wogold has become the poster child of electoral violence in this country. And I'm not in this contribution that I'm making justifying political violence. But with this same Akwatia in 2009, when we needed to power, it was the NDC. How many people died over there? What about the Tripoli by-elections? What about Etiwa? All this, in fact, a sitting national officer of the NDC drove a car through people. Men then, to date, nobody has been held accountable. Whether NPP or NDC, it cannot be justified in any manner. And as leadership of the various political parties, there's a higher responsibility on us to make sure that we choose our language right. But then again, it should not also be countenanced by the NDC to mean that if the NPP chooses to be law-abiding citizens, we are cowards. Today, they are in power. Irrespective of what happened in the past, the responsibility is on their part to guarantee the safety and security of everybody who is going to vote in this election. We are going to do everything possible to ensure that by close of day, our people go into this election in peace.
I want to see where you believe, why you think that is the NDC that caused the chaos or the attack on some members of your party? When you say you have grievances with the police that you went into that election task force meeting to address.
But then again, I'm struggling to understand how this is becoming a complex issue. We went into that meeting with recent memory of what had happened at Ablekumanov.
Which your
whether NPP was there officially or not, there were members of the NPP in that constituency.
Right.
And evidence of attacks on them.
Which is yet to be substantiated. These vehicles that you've mentioned with the number plates and all of that.
The vehicles, which is evident to you, to come and mention those vehicles, we all saw it. Okay. But granted, let's even put that aside. It is also evident on TV that individuals whose faces have been shown on TV, and not just our Kumsin, I have mentioned my national colleague, Chris Lloyd, a father, the son of this land, gets beaten mercilessly when he was even moving away from the police from the polling station, and there were police officers there. What couldn't the police officers have done? Not one. Many police officers were there.
Okay.
So if the NPP raises concerns with the police that you see, it is not just about you not doing anything about it, but even when you were present, we've seen attacks on ourselves. So we expect you to address it. There's no other place which is better to address those concerns than in that meeting.
Right.
And I believe that if by the outcome of that meeting, the NPP felt satisfied that the police has put in place measures to address those issues, I believe that's the reason why the NPP has not come out to come and raise any issues.
Okay.
So I don't think that this is, the NDC is just trying to, create a whole, they said, that's why I said that they set questions for themselves and they're answering it.
What is the, okay, let me bring Tanko computer.
You know what? After the meeting, I believe they had not briefed their leaders of what transpired in the meeting. Because after the meeting, even those who participated in the meeting still go on air on TV and say all manner of things. Just Wednesday, they held press conference. And they were still attacking the police and saying all manner of things. You see, you brought an issue to the police. And I'm saying that even one of the things, he's not aware. They were even talking of arrest. That our Deputy General Secretary said when former appointees appear in Akwatia, they will be arrested. So they wanted the IGP to tell them whether I'm coming. Of course, people will be arrested on Tuesday.
Who are under investigation?
Yes,
okay.
Those under investigation. We are looking for them. Some of them are fugitives. And then this and the yes, of course. When they appear, they will be arrested. The state will function. Despite by election, the state should not function. No, the state will function. If you are a fugitive, you are running away from the law, and you appear there, former appointee, you will be arrested that morning. And that one is a fact. We just stated the state will have to function.
Okay.
You see, their grievances was that they don't trust the police. And then IGP said, you said about Ablekumanov, I've arrested some people. And even by the close of the day, I'm going to arrest more. Okay. Because we are pursuing them, we'll get them. And true to his words, by the close, he got 6 more. That made it 8. Those people you saw in there, he arrested them. That made it 8. This is proactive IGP, who felt that, look, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he won't allow electoral violence anywhere. He said it. The president made a pledge. And true to his words, he has ordered the police, anybody who is involved in electoral violence, deal with that person. And as a political party, we didn't put our hands in the matter. We allowed the police to deal with the matter. Compare that one to the Azugu people. He's here, Hyde is here. Azugu and his group, look at the violence they unleash on people, state violence, state thuggery. You are talking of somebody slapping. I say some people are 6 feet. They have wives and children.
And these Azugu boys, you keep saying they were investigated to have been recruited by Hyde.
Yeah, the people, they brought them. They brought them. I'm saying that they brought them. You see, they brought them. Nobody died in Chelpuri. My brother, if you are not aware, we're there. We're in that election. Nobody died in Chelpuri. Look, I am saying that nobody died in Atiwa. I am saying nobody died in those areas. I participated in all this. Nobody. Hide. Your people are not telling you the story very well. Nothing of that happened.
Let me introduce Mr.
Before
I'll let you
I have to go. I begged for time.
Okay.
Because I did it to lead out by the IGP, the Election Security Task Force. We comply. We told them even in the meeting, and we have even exhibited it. My car was searched 3 times on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
When you were heading into Akwatia on the ground.
In the ground when you are moving. Meanwhile, they know me very well.
Right.
But we all agree they must search. So allow them. My PA was even complaining, look, allow them to do their work. We don't want any problem.
Right.
So if they are going to search Hyde as people, they shouldn't cry foul. Because we don't trust you people. You come with pepper spray. They know them. No, I'm just telling him, go and tell your woman. You see, some of them, they started misbehaving at funeral ground. They are doing this. If they get a heavy slide, then we'll come here and be talking about it. Nobody's going to attack them, but they shouldn't bring pepper spray or any dangerous weapon to that environment. We beg them. We just want peaceful process. When we finish the election, NDC is going to win massively. They know they have been rigging. This time they don't have the luxury to rig. The polls are even exposing them more. The people don't like them. In that constituency, they don't like MPP. They don't like them. They are leaving testimony to better Ghana.
Upon what is being said, that MPP
they don't like
the lives of the people in Akwatia better.
Go and see, they were buying back of rice, 1,000 cities. Today they are buying a 600.
Before they go,
I didn't enjoy it.
You are rushing to even increase the monies that you're giving to the miners because of fear of losing that seat to the MPP.
No, it's a global market. You look at the market trend, and then when it comes, we give it to them. And that's what we are doing. You see, we are social democrats. We are not like them. Hey, that is to discourage people from doing their move. That is why we are going to make sure that they enjoy their fruit of their labor. We wish them well. We'll break the news for you. By 5:30 Tuesday, you hear that NDC has won the seat, and all this noise will stop.
Thank you, Mr.
I want to petition the IGP. He has to appoint Mr. Tanko as his PRO. He's doing fantastic work for him.
But he says they were in that meeting.
So I'm not reporting what happened in the
meeting. So these are takeaways from that.
I was in the meeting. And I was in the meeting. I was in the meeting and I'm reporting what happened in the meeting. So I tell Ghanaians the truth so that you people are hiding away from the truth. What happened there? You don't want Ghanaians to know what happened in the meeting. Then you go outside and believe different things.
You have issues.
They said they will bring their own people.
In the meeting, they have no issues.
They said they are bringing their own people. And we are saying that when they bring their own people, the IGP will deal with them. We want peace. Allow peace to reign. Even funeral grounds, they are attacking people. Funeral grounds, they are attacking people. It's no good.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tanko. You're watching Current Agenda. It's your most authoritative current affairs program on GTV. Let us know what you're thinking. We're streaming live across board. Go to our website, gbcghanaonline.com, wherever you are in the world, so that you can follow the conversations. Hot on the burner is the Akwatia by-election, which will be happening once. Let's go for a short breather. We're back with more of the conversation. Stay with us. Stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us again. Welcome back. This is Current Agenda. We are analyzing all the big issues shaping national discussions. Lots have gone by this week. We know the latest on the Akwatia by-election. The chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, and some members of the party, including the candidate, went to the memorial of the late Yao Ernest Kumi, the MP for that area in the Eastern region, to commiserate with the family, but there were some skirmishes here and there. The police assuring also that if you are not accredited and if you're coming in and you have a personal bodyguard or security man, woman, for whatever reason, weapons will be confiscated before they are allowed into any of the inner parameters of the 119 polling stations that this election will be taking shape in Akwatia on the 2nd of September. We've been looking at all the security dynamics going into that election from the backdrop of what happened at the Ablekuma North rerun and the other by-elections that have happened across the country. At the table this morning, Rashid Tanko Computer, who just took leave of us, is the Deputy Director of Elections, NDC, espousing his thoughts there. We also have on Zoom Emmanuel Kotin, who is Executive Director for Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism giving us his perspectives there as well. Isaac J. Hyde, who is Deputy National Youth Organizer, is still at the table, and we've been joined by Mr. A last word on the security situation in Akwatia. Then I'll come to Mr. Mussa Dankwah so that we begin the data analysis of then versus now, just days into the election at Akwatia. Mr. Kotin, if we have you on the phone, can you tell us what your last word is on these security preparations and what should be looked out for? Okay, we'll reconnect with Mr. Kotin. I guess I have to come to Mr. Mussa Dankwah now. Mr. Dankwah, lots from... it must be a hot one, you know, looking at all these dynamics involved in going into the Akwatia election. What the parties are doing, it looks like to change the tide of your data and your analysis of how the election will pan out. They say they're adding more fees to the miners to caution them. The MPP saying that, look, these miners in that diamond-rich constituency were already better off than the 8 months of this government's life. Tell us how interesting finding the data, analyzing, compiling has been.
Right. I will start from the mining aspect that you just mentioned. We spoke to the voters in Akwatia and asked them what single issue would mostly influence them on how they vote. And only 8% mentioned mining issues.
8%?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, 8% mining issues. You have about 42% mentioning development projects. And 15% mentioning economy. About 13% mentioning education, 10% mentioning jobs, and 8% mentioning the Galamsey.
Okay.
So on the basis of that, the Galamsey will not drive the outcome of the election. No. Because this is more like a local election. And remember, the prices or the amount paid to the daily Galamsey workers doesn't fluctuate with how much the price of gold is sold on the market.
Right.
So they are paying a fixed day. When it comes to they give 500. And that will continue maybe until the price where a time where the impact on those who own the mines becomes significant, then they can negotiate
better terms.
Okay. So that will not really affect the outcome of this election. And then even among those who say it is important for them, those who say it is important, nearly 48% prefer MPP's candidate and 47% prefer NDC candidate. So it's broken in the middle, tie virtually on the issue of Galamsey. So nobody has a clear advantage of the Galamsey issue. Then when you come to the economy, the MPP has 2-point advantage over the NDC candidate on the economy in Akwatia constituency because people are kind of a bit pessimistic now about where the country is headed in terms of overall direction than the previous poll that we did about 4 weeks ago. So that has tended to probably give MPP about 2-point edge on the economy. So you have 44% of people who say economy voting for MPP's candidate and 42% voting for NDC candidate, almost tie in the middle.
Well.
Where the numbers are those who are thinking that development project is the most important thing to them. And on that score, about 51% of them prefer the NDC's candidate. And I think 32 or so prefer the MPP's candidate on those development issues. And I think that is because they believe that the incumbent government is more likely to give them what they want in this short term than opposition MP.
Okay.
So they may be making a decision based on short-term belief that, okay, if we give this guy, who is part of the government, incumbent government, the seat, it could help us get development. And that's why probably the race has turned on its head.
Okay. When you look at jobs, can you tie jobs to mining? Because if most of the jobs around the area are mining prone, you know, and all of that, can you tie that to mining?
No, not quite. Because look, let's look at Akwatia constituency in terms of educational background. About 28% of these people have junior high qualification. The prospect of these guys having white-collar job is very slim. And those who have no formal education is about 15%. So those who would likely be part of mining jobs are those with junior high qualification and those without formal qualifications.
Okay.
A few of those with the senior high will find their way in there. But another 28% of Akwatia voters hold senior high qualification. And another 28 hold tertiary qualification. So these are the ones who are mentioning the jobs, because they are looking for white-collar jobs rather than the mining jobs.
Okay. Let's look at the other dynamics, developmental projects. What kind of developmental projects did you see they are looking at? Is it into, the developmental projects, and what the comparison is from the erstwhile MPP administration as compared to now, this new government's 8-month life period? Because with the campaign, the MPP is surely telling them that, look, we are going to wrestle power in 2028 and come back. And this is what our track record has been before the 2024 election.
Laws are bad.
That's a developmental project.
Yes, and those are the things. Maybe hospitals or healthcare facilities, maybe schools, hospitals. Those are the infrastructure things that they probably need. Water, drinking water. Water is a bit of challenge in that area because of they polluted the water bodies, and now they have to rely on other means of source of water to be able to live as a community.
Okay.
My hometown, I remember when I was young, I used to go to a stream called Subani, just out behind the town. Just clean water. We used to swim there. You can see the fishes. Now it's completely kaput. It's gone. They now rely on pipe extension, local water system to be able to feed themselves. So these are the things these guys are looking for. And in the time they find themselves in, who will be best to help bring that? And that has been the problem MPP is having right now in Akwatia, to be very honest with you. Because people will say, okay, we like MPP, we love MPP, but should we send this guy to parliament? And how is he able to lobby to that's what we want? And that has been the challenge that MPP is facing in terms of campaign. If you look at the NDC campaign, that's the angle they've taken, saying that if you vote for this guy, he will help champion development and you'll see development going forward. So that is what has made it a bit easy for NDC.
Okay.
Besides that, you have general honeymoon period for the president and the NDC party. That is rubbing off in the consensus as well. And currently about 44% are saying right direction or wrong direction. So the honeymoon is still there, even though the number has kind of dropped a bit compared to the last 4 weeks, but it is still there generally. And that is what people may think, okay, yeah, let's give it a second chance. So if you look at the polling numbers, which initially showed MPP leading in the first poll, now it's turned on its head.
Wow.
And then NDC is likely to win the constituency come Tuesday.
Right.
Because of certain things that we've seen in data. And these are facts that probably people don't know, even within the MPP. What you are seeing is division in MPP. Full stop.
That's what's influencing the rise
the outcome. What we are seeing. Because in the constituency, you have 11% of the respondents who are MPP sympathizers saying that they are voting for NDC candidate. But you have 3% of NDC equally voting for MPP's candidate. So when you net off, you get +8 advantage for NDC on cross-party lines. Then specifically about those who in 2024 voted for Eneskumi. This one, regardless of their party, who did you vote for? Eneskumi. Who are you voting for now? I'm voting for A or Mr. B. That is where the number becomes very profound. When you look at that data, you will see that 24% of Eneskumi's voters who went and queued and voted for Eneskumi in 2024 have switched camp to NDC Beidou. You cannot win an election if you lose that number of people.
24%.
Remember, they won Akwatia by just 2,000 votes.
Absolutely.
And what is required to flip the seed is not 2,000 by 1,000. So you have to always divide the margin you had by 2 to get the swing.
Right.
Which means if the swing is 1,000, that number will not hold.
That number will not.
That is mathematics of polling in the data we have seen. Unless they revert and say, oh, change our mind between the time they told us and election day, these numbers will not augur well for MPP on Tuesday.
Okay, 52,338 registered voters across 119 polling stations. I do see here that the MPP has 46% when it comes to party affiliations in the data, and the NDC has 41%. So, as you said, the swing.
And if you can see in the final poll now we delivered, NDC is 41% in the sample, but they are getting what? 53% of the vote. So they've moved from 41. It means they are getting other parties, including MPP, to take them where they are. When you look at MPP, they are 46%. But the polling number says the candidate is getting 47. So only 1% has come to add to their number. So it means that most likely, most of the other parties are against them in the constituency.
Wow. Let's talk about the sympathy votes. I've seen the demographics of, the different qualifications of people and the likelihood of the sympathy votes for the late MP's party, NS Kumi, and how that is also going to play a role for the swing or for retaining that seat for the MPP.
If the sympathy vote is bigger chunk of the respondents' reason, then it could have an impact.
Okay.
Because if you look at those who say sympathy will influence them, MPP is getting about 75% of those people. It's only 4%. And they are getting 75% of that 4%. So it's not material, it's not significant, mathematically. And then if you look at those who say sympathy will influence them, most of them are people with junior high qualification and no education. Those with senior high and tertiary, sympathy is not influencing them.
Because they are more discerning?
Discerning. And also remember, put together, example, we engage. So the population there is educated, and that is not helping MPP in this situation.
More elite. I see the voting for my party, the percentage of that is even more than the popularity of the candidate. How significant is this?
There are people who say they are voting for the candidate because it is my party's candidate. So regardless of who the party present, they also vote for that candidate. And again, 85% of those who are saying, those who said they vote based on their party are MPP people. So those people are voting for MPP's candidate. And 25% are voting for NDC candidate. So we can see the MPP people are more loyal to the party rather than the person the party present.
What does that say about the message of the passing? Because if developmental projects and all of this come to play, and these candidates' love or loyalty of a party is more than the candidates who have been on the grounds doing all this campaign and telling them, because they will get to work with the people primarily.
Yeah, and that is why those numbers are very tiny. Right? So those who are influenced by that are not that significant. They are very insignificant. So it will not sway anything. So you have to have a candidate who can deliver the key issues. So for example, if people are saying developmental project, if you are an MPP candidate, how do you pitch yourself? How do you pitch your message along these key issues? You must be seen to be running your campaign or your messaging around the key issues. As to how you are able to do that as a opposition candidate is up to them. But they should have pivoted on developmental issues and how they believe that even though he's an opposition candidate, he can work around that issue and still get them development. If they can't do that, they are in trouble. Local. That is why development projects are quite higher in terms of proportion. In the national election, you don't see that kind of priority. You normally see economy, jobs, education, and the rest. But since this is a by-election, local election, it's more local than national.
Right. I'm looking at also other factors, and I'll let you speak on other factors and the qualifications that are, and the percentage of the qualifications on other factors in this green table. 13% for junior high school, 38% for senior high school, 25% for tertiary, 25% for no education. So the senior high school, 38% of them is higher than all the other qualifications. Wondering what these other factors are.
You know, I've always said, and parties must listen carefully, you cannot do anything in this political environment without understanding the demography of the people you are dealing with. Because that understanding enables you to see what message you put out, how to carry that message, and how to push that message, and where to push that message.
Okay.
If you don't understand these issues, you are gone. You are living in the past, because the age profile of the voters, their educational background, will tell you what kind of message you take to them. If you are going to people who are educated, then you're going to have intellectual debate with this group of voters.
Absolutely.
If you go to those with junior high and senior high, you know, you're having a street level conversation. And you can't have one brush to paint everybody as they are the same. They're not the same. So this is very important. And we are seeing that manifesting in this Akwatia by-election. Akwatia, surprisingly, is heavily educated. Surprisingly,
because
yes,
I thought
surprisingly.
that, you know, there's a lot of the galamseying and the minors, and they necessarily do not need that higher qualification.
Most of them don't live and vote there. They come in as minors who come in. They are migrant workers.
Right.
Even though you have some of the boys doing the back, most who come there, they're not indigenous. So they don't actually vote there.
Which party seems to have recognized this gaping hole? That
I don't know. You have to ask them. I don't know.
Because of the percentages that this is the kind of message you should take to these demographics.
You know, I've seen over the years that we completely ignore demography. We completely ignore it.
How do you completely ignore demography?
Well, that's what they have been doing, because if you look at the messages they're carrying across, it is the same, regardless of where they go.
Even gender factors as well, if you look at them, are they also completely ignored? The women who choose the candidates versus the men. So for Sumedu and then Beidu, for gender, Bernard Beidu has 47% for male and 46% for female. Solomon Sumedu has 42% for male. This is even for Sumedu, both the male and the females. The percentages are the same. We know that women also create a critical role in these communities and how they develop.
You see, what we must understand, or these folks doing police must understand, is that when it comes to even turnout, women are more reliable voters than men.
Turnout.
Right? So they're more reliable than men when it comes to turnout. So if you're suffering from turnout fatigue, then you must know who to target. And women are the best to capture because they will come out and vote. Once there's security, assurance there's no violence, they'll come out and vote. But once there's hey, they don't come out.
Okay.
It's the men that come out during tense elections. So all this feed into how you approach elections. And women also have their soft issues. What are they concerned about?
Okay.
You must know. Men's concern and women's concern are not the same.
Absolutely.
In the last election, women were more concerned about education than men.
Oh.
You know why?
Why? Tell us.
When the axe fall, the woman.
It is.
The man just put money on the table, but as to how and what you get for the child to go to school and other things is the woman.
It's the woman. She's the financial
and that is why the free education was much popular among women than among men.
Right.
And we saw that in the way the women were voting in the last election, and that even the gap between Mahama and Bawumia was narrower among women because of education.
Okay.
So this data is quite important, but here, anything goes.
Anything goes. That's quite unfortunate. The other demographics I'd like to look at is the people who do not vote because of anything, the floating voters. What would be some of the reasons that would influence them?
No, they are not floating voters. Okay. Those who are floating voters are people who don't align themselves to a particular party at all times.
Okay.
Today they are here, NDC. Tomorrow they are with Butterfly. Next time they are with NDC, MPP. They move around based on the issues they care mostly about in an election. They're not extremely partisan. They move. And they're the ones who normally decide who becomes president in this country. On the average, they probably around 15%, 20% among the voting population. So once you get that chunk number, you are home and dry.
I wonder why the third force that we say we seem to have or we should have doesn't look at, getting that chunk of that percentage to cause a great upset, because then they don't go to the big two parties.
The problem has been our constitution and the way we run the first past the post system to parliament. It is important that we allow every 2-3 seats to smaller parties based on the total national share of vote. So the number will be there. At least That will be the start that these guys can use to build a platform.
Right.
If they're not in parliament, it's going to be very difficult.
It's going to be difficult. Thank you, Mr. Dankwah. I will definitely come back to engage you on some of the data as well, but let me introduce Mr. Solomon Owusu, who is a senior communicator for Movement for Change. He's joined us this morning. Hello, sir. Good morning. Welcome to the table.
I'm good.
Great to have you.
Yeah, good to be here.
Okay, I'll pick your initial comments. We're talking Akwatia. We've looked at the security dynamics, and we're just looking at the data, the demographics, and all of that. This is the Movement for Change view, perception, all the lead up to that crucial by-election in Akwatia.
Well, good morning to my co-panelists from where I sit. But for bragging rights, this election, there shouldn't be any tension in it. I mean, what are they fighting for? The NDC already has an overwhelming majority in parliament. The MPP knows they are in the micro-minority or minority as you put it, and this is not going to change any dynamism or dynamics in parliament. But it's for bragging rights that the MPP wants to make a case that their party is regrouping, the base is regrouping, and that come 2028, they will capture. They will make a lot of noise should they win this election. The NDC was wants to say, I tell Ghanaians that 9 months into the administration, their government is performing. Hence the reason why the people of Akwatia entrusted the seat for them. So that is why there seems to be some tension for all things being equal. So if all things are to be equal, it will happen. If all things are not equal according to the various interviews or surveys that you conducted, and there is a shift in position. My attitude, and judging by the data, and we all know at this stage that none of the parties can say that Akwatia is their stronghold. Because if you judge from 1992 to date, NDC has won it 4 times, and the NPP has won it 4 times. And with the last one that ended up in controversy, the difference between the MPP and the NDC was a little over 2,000. So that is what we are dealing with. Now, over the years, history has to come to play. That when you are going into a by-election, there are 2 things that determine the outcome. You can have other situations which fall out of the graph, but usually in a swing constituency with such a narrow vote margins, the likely variably wants to identify with the government of the day. You understand? What is the point? The people have already won the presidency, they have an overwhelming. Why do you want to have a tete-a-tete with them or go in the opposite direction? That is what normally plays out, and it has been used by both parties over the years. That why don't you want to be part of the winning team? So that might play to the advantage of the
government
NDC.
of the day, the
Yes.
NDC.
But on the other side, the very candidate the NDC also brought is fraught with a lot of problems. Now, I have a lot of people in Akwatia who believe that he shouldn't have been. And I also had a problem with the fact that you remember the NDC was in court challenging the outcome of the election, that indeed their candidate won. If that was anything to go by, then why do you change a winning candidate? You get my point? Right. So their candidate is also problematic. But I would not be surprised at all if the NDC wins the seat.
Even with the new candidate instead of the winning candidate.
I would be less surprised with them winning. I would rather be surprised if the MPP wins because of how by-elections in a very string seats with the NDC having the incumbent advantage plays out and has played out in the past years.
Okay.
The IGP must take total control of the place. You see, the security, the internal security of the state lies in the hands of the police to the state authority. And it's the reason why it's the Ghana police, not the NDC police, not the MPP police, not the movement police. We are not a political party who would have fielded a candidate. But mind you, let me also announce your listeners and viewers that very soon the Movement for Change is metamorphosing into a political party.
Okay.
A vibrant one as such. That will give this country a good oxygen.
You were going to become the third force that Ghana seems to have been waiting for.
Absolutely. And let me also say that none of the 2 parties that we call the big parties have members. They don't have it. what they have been using to gauge their membership has to do with the voting outcomes. That is the last election. If you go into the MPP, the delegates list, they are no more than 200,000. If you go to the NDC, the same thing. And many a times, the political parties that come do not offer that, as it were, that encouragement. And also has to do with the fact that media houses have played a role. To the extent that these two political parties, NDC and MPP, they are bold enough to even tell media houses that we are boycotting your platform. I said, for Christ's sake. When they boycott, call the other political parties. Because it's by way, just like Mussa was saying, by listening to them, their views, their programs and policies, that is what can change the mindset of the people of this country. When they are only treated to these two views from these two political parties, what other choice or options do they have? Once you do that, I'm telling you, things will begin to shape up. And we as a movement, we are not going to allow the media houses to only settle on these two political parties. It's the reason why I started them here.
Okay.
Because I don't see why they have to be given the opportunity to be espousing their ideas. Especially on this network. This is Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. This is not the annex of the MPP or the NDC. It's for all of us. Right. So I wish all of them the best of luck. May the better person who can represent the people of this country very well win to serve motherland.
Okay, you touted that the NDC may have the advantage when it comes to this particular election. Do you agree to sentiments that this will be a testament of its, work that it's done in its 8 months lifespan?
Yes, partly. I mean, every election is a referendum on policies. Okay. Whichever way you look at it, you can have the sympathy votes, you can have, but the core of it has to be linked to the economy. Akwatia is predominantly a mining area. We must view it from that angle. As for sympathy and those that don't believe in it, it's lazy minds that always want to rely on sympathy. Sympathy for, we are not doing, there is nowhere in the Constitution that talks about sympathy, voting based on sympathy.
No, but people die, their emotions, people are touched. Some have failed the widows of these candidates, and they are voted for.
But if emotions were anything to go by, if people were going to rely on emotions, then it means the party should always and always replace those that are deceased with family members. But in this instance, the candidate that has been replacing, that has been fielded for the MPP, Eneskumi. He's not from Eneskumi's family. In fact, he contested in the last election. So where would the sympathy come from? That can even lead to apathy. Because I saw a video immediately Eneskumi died by women, some women group who purportedly come from the MPP, saying that the death of Eneskumi was rather the pressure that was mounted on him by MPP members. I saw that video with my naked eyes.
Instead of the NDC,
absolutely, that was
with him contending.
Yes, that was the first video I saw.
Seat in court.
Said they pressured it. I mean, the court, if I go into an election and I know for a fact that you rigged me, you think I'll sit down? I have to take you on. I have to insist that the right thing is that it is the reason why the New Patriotic Party went to court in 2012.
But that doesn't make nonsense of the fact that maybe the court pressure from the NDC side also insisting that that election had been rigged got to the young man.
I don't think that would have caused him to die, because if going to court caused people to die, John Mahama would have died first.
But why do they think that the NPP rather?
Is there?
Why do the sentiments rather say that the NPP
these are the words,
killed or
these are the words from the women that I heard. Okay. According to them, everyday pressure, no matter what the young man did for the constituents, they never appreciated it. Give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, money. It was all about money.
I'll give Hyde a chance to react to that, but...
No, but maybe he hasn't seen the video I can make available to him. You understand? The way and manner our politics have been monetized. Have you heard what Adenimo has written?
About the cost of the filing fees.
How much did he say it's costing?
It's 100,000.
No, madam. Oh, Maltiti, you want to reduce the amount here. Let me read for you to see. Sometimes, you see, we must let the people of this country understand the way and manner and the directions these two political parties want to send us to. This is Adenimo speaking. Point 4. He said one of his reasons for withdrawing from the race is the fact that a whooping amount of 4,600,000, 4.6 million cedis.
4,600,000.
That's 4.6 million cedis. It's what the New Patriotic Party is demanding from him.
By way of filing.
By way of filing fee is 100,000. Nomination. Which one is that? The
Solomon.
No, I'm coming.
When you said 4 million. Yeah. I'm a bit through. Yes, I'm a bit through. 4 million.
No, I'm coming. I will let you read.
Let him justify the amount.
I will let you read.
When the statement is coming
I will let you read.
I haven't cited it.
No, you
It is not even about the
he wants to buy the dollar.
Let him justify the amount.
Please justify. This is a platform of statements on MPP primaries. The following broad consultations, advice from my team members, and careful reflections on the current circumstances of the party, I have decided on inappropriate political timing, January 31st, 2026, for the conduct of that presidential primary. The top-down approach that I have seen to internal party contests, which has been severely criticized by many party stalwarts. Point 3, the seeming inclination and bias of party executives towards one candidate that I have seen as well. Point 4, the unreasonable and unhealthy monetization of our internal politics as evidenced in the astronomical amount of 4,600,000 Ghana cedis. That's 4.6 million being demanded from each aspirant. I would want to make this available to my producer so that we can have it on screen to substantiate. This is signed by Engineer Francis Adanimo.
I would never lie for any reason.
Nevertheless, I wish all the aspirants well in the campaigns is what he said. But he says he believes that this undermines the foundations of our internal democratic culture and places an ethical emphasis on money rather than competence and winnability.
This monetization was what the women in the video I saw were alluding to. The sort of pressure that are put on individuals within the party. How come, for Christ's sake, how can you demand 46 billion old Ghana cedis from someone because the person wants to be your flag bearer? You would have eliminated more than 99.9% of Ghanaians from contesting.
Are elections cheap in Ghana?
It has to be cheap because we are not selling anything. It's sale of ideas. If this was how our elections were run, I'm not sure Kwame Nkrumah would have been the president of this country because he came to this country with nothing. Even with the MPP, J. Kufuor would never have been the flag bearer of the party and could not have become the president of the land because he didn't have that money, that magnitude of amount. So why in the 21st century, 2025, for Christ's sake, you want people with that caliber, with that intellect to contest on your ticket?
So all these 5 candidates are fielding this money.
Million, they have paid. 5 have paid 23 million, which translates to $2 million already back there.
For that 4 million paid candidate.
If he's lying, I am lying. According to him, the breakdown is that picking of nomination form is 100,000. Filing of the nomination is 500,000, making 600,000. And there is something they call development fee or cost. That alone is 4 million cedis.
Okay, Solomon, please make that statement available to me, to my producer, so that we can put it on.
And
Hyde, I want Hyde to weigh in on this.
To further settle this matter, Adenimo is not dead. He is alive. Your producers must do it the greatest honor.
Yes, we're going to try and reach
against Hyde's work.
Yes, we'll put that statement out there. It's signed by Engineer Adanimo himself, which I quoted, and my producers will try to see if we can get Engineer Adanimo on phone, because I am seeing this for the first time. Hyde.
Maltiti, thank you. But I as moderator of this of our sitting this morning. Why do you allow this gentleman to set agenda for this conversation?
This is a side statement.
I'm coming. I say so because we came here to have discussions concerning, for us as NPP, we have men of honor who have filed to contest for our primaries. Men of honor who have shown track record and diligence in serving this country. No disrespect to Honorable Adanimo. He's run for our primaries before. He's made his intent and interest of running for our primaries some time back. If today he's not going to contest, I don't see how the conversation...
No, why?
As I speak to you, 8 of the founder of Afafranto are today running back to the NPP.
It's not true.
A number of them.
Which aid?
Mention two names.
You said I should fact check him. Which
I've
aid?
seen my former TESCOM president and hardworking, eloquent Pearl, who has worked as an aide to Honorable Alan Chairman. Today working for Honorable Kennedy Ejapon. He knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know about it.
He knows what I'm talking about. And I can give you, I can provide you evidence to that effect. He knows what I'm talking about.
The fact that you don't know.
I'm talking about an executive assistant.
No.
You shouldn't be intimidated by what he's saying.
Solomon, no.
I'm saying that if he says he's providing evidence, in fact, I will give you pictures for you to post it. The young lady I'm talking about.
The young lady
is a very hardworking.
Please share the
It's a very
evidence
hardworking
with me.
lady. I'll send it to your WhatsApp.
Yes.
Very hardworking, very committed to her work.
No, but what
She has served as an aide to Honorable Alan Chairman for
has
years.
switched camp to
Today,
the MPPs.
she's back.
One of the presidential aspirants.
You see that the narrative has changed.
That what?
You see the narrative. He claims he didn't know her.
Okay.
But I'm saying that I am even surprised that today Afrafranto is saying that they are even metamorphosing into a political party. That's a welcome call. But I'm even surprised that they even believe that they have members, because even the persons they are going to rely on to build the foundation of their party are running back to the MPP, and we welcome them.
Okay.
But then,
I'll give you a chance to react. But Hyde, I want you to speak to the issue of the money. 4 million Ghana cedis, yes, per candidate.
You see, the NPP issued a statement, which equally I'm going to share that as well with you, concerning the processes for our elections. We stated that there is a nomination fee and a filing fee.
1 million will be used.
It's verifiable. I'm saying that
1 million will be used.
It's verifiable. I'm saying that the NPP hasn't issued a statement. The NPP hasn't issued a statement for 4 million cedis.
But Adenimo has issued a statement.
For 4 million cedis.
But Adenimo has issued a statement.
When you
Adenimo is not the NPP.
Quantify.
I'm saying that. Listen.
When you quantify all of what you're saying, the NPP spells out as the processes.
Has issued a statement to the effect that filing fees of 100,000 and then nomination fees of 100,000, filing fees of 500,000,
making 600,000.
And I don't think that any serious person who is desirous of leading a political party that has a national representation and beyond the borders of Ghana, including international branches, and the person cannot afford to raise that amount of money. As much as I'm very much against monetization of our political system, I think that every person that is desirous of leading, even a constituency, must be resourceful enough to be able to finance such a project. That notwithstanding, I also say that
Solomon,
the conversation should not be shifted. I'm very much interested in discussing the wonderful personalities that has been bold enough to come and express interest to lead the NPP.
But your party...
We should not shift the conversation from this important conversation to somebody who, one, has not even bought forms or, let's say, expressed an interest to contest.
So your party is not accommodating...
He only issued a statement.
Your party is not accommodating
There's
to
somebody
the
who puts up
party member who cannot afford this 4 million.
I'm saying that you are the one mentioning the 4 million.
It's in that statement.
But I'm saying that is where the problem is. The problem is that people have gone to buy. The NPP hasn't issued a statement of 4 million. Because I have not seen it. I'm a national officer of the NPP. I have not seen 4 million cedis.
And that is serious. And
I'm saying that.
You don't know it.
Solomon, allow him land.
And I'm saying that I have not seen it.
He has seen it.
In any case, I have been out of the country. I came back 2 days ago. Put that aside. I am saying that the NPP has stated that there's a filing fee and there's a nomination fee. There are people, I have seen billboards across board, someone like Dankwah has stated that he's interested in leading the NPP. At the end of the day, he didn't buy forms, he didn't contest. Why have we left the important personalities who have gone through the processes to file their nominations and are campaigning across the country without any reservations to go and discuss somebody who has issued a statement without even having bought forms? If the person wanted to make change in MPP, the person could have necessarily even filed and said that, you know what, we need to make changes. So long as the person didn't file, the person is not part of the process, we shouldn't discuss it. Let's focus on the MPP and the people
but he's talking about alienation of party people.
And I'm saying that.
Loyal party people who want to be able to contest fairly with these 5 candidates, aspirants, and be able to lead the party and the country.
Let's even assume.
You are not assuming he has issued a statement.
I am saying that Afrafranto, I won't come here for the Afrafranto to come and set questions for me because as I speak to you,
Afrafranto is not setting questions to you. They are trying to be accountable to the people of Ghana. That's what we're doing this morning.
It is Adanibo who has issued a statement.
Be accountable to the people of Ghana.
Who has issued a statement that 4.6 million whatever. I'm saying that I am not aware of that.
Then that's serious.
I have told you that the nominations, as we issue the processes, people have filed. For us as a political party, we are focused, we are on the grounds, we have opened the processes that right after Akwatia, people can go ahead and engage.
I'll come to you, Hyde, so that we talk about the 5 candidates. That will be going into that election because that's important as well. Solomon, I'm giving you a minute.
It's very important. My brother Hyde knows that what he's doing this morning is just not right. First of all, he's fully aware that 4.6 million was being demanded from aspirants. And then it could not. So be it, the movement for change, as it is going to metamorphose into a political party, we will not go this route. You will not be charged this outrageous amount for anybody worth the salt to contest on our ticket. This is monetization of our body politic. And it is some of these reasons that leads to corruption and our inability to deal with issues such as Galamsey.
Okay, Solomon, you brought that statement. Now, let me also let our viewers and you know the statements that Hyde was alluding to, that he knows that the MPP has put out. And that statement says...
Please tell me the day that statement was issued.
Okay. I will get to that. But the statement says that nominations for the position of the party's presidential candidate shall open on Tuesday, July 29, 2025, and close on Thursday, August 28, 2025. Nomination forms will be obtained from the office of the General Secretary. And that's what you have on your screen, viewers, and you can go through with me. Any member of the party wishing to apply for nomination, the party's presidential candidate shall obtain the nomination forms after paying a non-refundable nomination fee of 100,000 cedis.
Yes.
Bankers draft in favor of the New Patriotic Party headquarters. The filing fee, 0.5, for the presidential nomination is 500,000 Ghana cedis to be paid in bankers' draft in favor of the New Patriotic Party headquarters. As aspiring presidential candidate shall be required to pay a development fee as determined by the National Council.
Oh la la! Have I not been vindicated?
Where are the permutations that adds up to 4 million? 600,000. Where are the permutations that add to the 4 million?
Read the last.
Because you're not a spokesperson for Mr. Dainimu. I just want to.
Just read the last paragraph once again. Let us all go through it.
An aspiring presidential candidate shall be required to pay a development fee as determined by the National Council.
Fantastic. So what it means is that beyond the filing fee,
there will be some amount of money that will be paid. How much is that amount of money?
Is telling you that amount is 4 million.
How do we take Mr. Dainimu's word for this?
But the point is,
when the party, this statement was on July 29, 2025.
And Adenimo's statement is on the 27th of August.
Okay.
27th of August.
3 days or so ago.
Adenimo cannot lie.
I'm sure that we would hear from the MPP on this statement that engineer.
What development are you doing? Are you constructing
development fees for 4 million? All you said all adds up to the 4 million. So you have to take out the filing and the nomination fees.
So the rest was clear. 4.6. He said they are demanding 4.6 million from him.
All right, let's move.
What is this?
I want us to move to the flag bearership race of the New Patriotic Party. Critically, is the 5 candidates that are moving into, to wrestle to become the candidates that takes the MPP to the 2028 general elections. We know that there's the comeback candidate, who is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who says that based on his long-serving status and all of the projects that he has done, all of the laurels that the MPP government, the SO MPP government chalked, he should be the man to lead the charge, and fresh faces. The delegates shouldn't risk banking their votes on fresh faces to lead them into that party. The other candidates being Kobna Ejapong, who was the former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, who has also become one of the aspirants and has filed his nomination forms as the party headquarters. And he's also gunning with all of his wealth of experience, saying that he is the better candidate to lead them to victory. Dr. Bawumia has talked about unifying the party a lot, and it looks like that's the cliche that's running in the other candidates as well. Mr. Ohene Kennedy Ejapong as well, and the former Education Minister, the Honorable Educhum as well, going to the grounds to speak to the people about what their values for the party will be and how uniting the party will be. We've heard about the camps of various candidates going at each other, tribal issues mentioned, religious issues mentioned, which one of the candidates, Dr. Bawumia, addressed. We also heard about the allegations that the party seems to be tilted and in favor of certain candidates as against the others. Tantamount to all of that is the filing fees and all of that that is being alluded to. And the various representatives or people from the camps of these candidates coming out to clear the air or address some of these allegations that are flying high. And so if you have been following, for the past 2-3 days, the grounds have been heated as they head into that 31st January delegates conference to elect who the presidential aspirant of the MPP will be headed into the 2028 elections. President John Dramani Mahama in this week also put out the statement that he will not be running again as per the Constitution, even though we have heard from experts that there have been some comments on the grounds about changing the Constitution and moving into more than 8 years of a particular precedent. Let me go to Hyde. I've seen all the things that you have sent me that my producers will make the pictures. Yes.
The aide and executive assistant of Honorable Alan Kojo Chairmantin, who is now back in NPP supporting Ken. I'm saying that movement for change. That movement for change. The movement for change. They are all even he, I'm sure by now is negotiating his way back into the NPP. Solomon has nowhere to go. The movement for change, they don't even have an office beyond Greater Accra. They have nowhere to go. They want back in Dankwah.
This is Current Agenda. You're watching us live. Go on Facebook at GTV Ghana. You can follow our conversations there. This show is proudly brought to you by Bank of Africa. You bank better with them. Follow the conversations on gbcghanaonline.com, our website as well. Gentlemen, thank you for calming down. Mr. Dankwah, let's go into the data of these aspirants as well, looking at how they're heading into these elections, all the sentiments about which candidates is preferred or being touted by the party, aided by the party to go into this election.
All right, thank you very much for whether in government or in opposition, there will be a perception of some system, what we call a candidate backed by establishment. If you remember, in 2007 in the US, when Obama was running against Clinton, Clinton was the establishment candidate for the Democratic Party, and the superdelegates were backing her. Then they realized that, look, the ordinary people were looking for different direction. So eventually they abandoned Clinton and joined Obama. Bawumia in 2020 or in 2024 was the establishment candidate, was backed by the government machinery, and we saw that playing heavily even in the delegates. People we spoke to, a lot of them don't want to tell you who they will vote for because of fear of intimidation, that kind of thing. Those are real things. Fast forward to today, we still have perception of incumbency or a candidate backed by the establishment. That cannot be ruled out. That cannot be denied.
It plays a role.
Because they favored for the party's system or machinery. Now, if you go to the polling data right now, you have just over half of MPP delegates have committed their vote to Dr. Bawumia. 52%. Remember in the last election, he got 61%. But currently, he's on 52%. Kennedy on 17%. Then you have Brian Champon on about, I think, 3% nationally.
Okay.
What they are showing there is Akwatia numbers, not national numbers.
Can we have the national numbers? These are the Akwatia numbers.
These are Akwatia. So they have to go to the MPP primaries polling data to show that.
All right. Oh, okay.
Now, and then you have Educhum on 1%. But about 9% say that they know who they would vote for, but they won't tell us. And these guys are normal people who don't want the system to know who they are voting for. And that number, I believe, are Ken numbers. So roughly, if you add the 9% plus 17%, you are getting like 26% for Ken, tactically.
26% for Ken?
Yes. Now, realistically, the 18% is where the game will be played. Those who are truly undecided, 16 regions. What is quite a lot. Mostly they are in Ashanti region, a stronghold of the MPP, which each candidate must really work hard to win. Eastern region, Central region, Western region, Western North. So typically the Akan, main Akan regions. Yes. So each of these candidates must know as to who wins most of the 18% who are undecided.
Right.
It could rather make the race tighter or a lot wider. Now, if you are Bawumia, you shouldn't be sleeping, because I'm not going to say that Ken will win all the 18%. But if he wins most of them, it could make life very uncomfortable for Bawumia. So he must really work hard to expand his lead. And Ken too must see an opportunity in that there are 18% who are yet to decide who to vote for. Because truly speaking, these guys in the last election voted for Bawumia. So, and we have the same candidates broadly, beside Educhum.
These 18% undecided people voted for Dr. Bawumia in the last
election. Most of them may have done so because it got 61% in the last election, and Ken got 37, 38%. So you would assume that most of them voted for Bawumia. So why are they now on the fence? What are they waiting for?
Absolutely.
Are they waiting for something? I don't know. But they have to work hard to get that 18%. But Kennedy has a bigger challenge because he needs to win or change minds of people who are in Bawumia's camp. Otherwise, they will require 50% plus one, right? To avoid runoff.
Yeah.
So he, Ken, must try and change mind of those who intend to vote for Bawumia to vote for him, to make it a bit competitive. Otherwise, if Bawumia maintains that 5-2%, it's home and dry. But you don't want to win primary for MPP with that number. You need to win convincingly.
Yeah.
Imagine he won 61% and he didn't perform well in the last election. If he does worse than that,
Less than 52%.
Less than 61 that he got in 2023 elections, it could be bad omen for him in 2028.
Wow. So, and you're saying that there are still things that these candidates are ignoring, aside from the 18% who are undecided. What does it seem like, what's the edge that they seem to have over each other? And then you said the incumbency, machinery and all.
There is something that the MPP delegates have been telling us. And that seems to probably carry a lot of currency among the delegates. They've known him for a while. He has been the face of MPP as a second person from 2027 all the way till today. So some of them are saying that he's well marketed. He's the person they have known over the years. Some of them, and I think typically MPP is a conservative party.
Okay.
Being conservative means you want to stand with the status quo. I'm able to a lot of changes that are happening. And also it gives credence to the fact that their delegates are a lot older. About 75% of MPP delegates are above the age of 44 years. Whereas the country is below 35 years. So the misalignment between the delegate and the national structure tends to influence the nature of the delegates. And that is what Ken and the team must identify. How do you convince this guy? They may not be amiable to modern trends and changes, but they are conservatives. So you have to find out what kind of message you need to have to reach out to these guys and change their mind. And for that, it's for them to do. It's not for me to advise.
In the last election, Dr. Baume, and some of the things that may have gone against him, I mean, you have the data, but I also heard the sentiments about religion, where he comes from, the fact that he's not kept so long in the party. There are others.
This doesn't exist.
Count.
This doesn't exist.
Count.
Issues about ethnicity will also count, but to what extent as a different issue. And these are the two factors that played out in MPP stronghold. And MPP stronghold are mostly Akans and mostly Christians. These are the combination factors that may have kind of made the turnout a bit worse for MPP in those areas, among those who didn't vote.
Okay.
And even among those who voted, some of them may have gone elsewhere because of some of these factors. We've done some studies that to show that at least 10% of voters mention religion as important to them.
Okay.
An equal number for ethnicity.
All right.
And if you say 10% of voters, that's 1.8 million.
That's a significant population. How about developmental issues with some of these MPP strong areas, aside from religion, with their party being in government for 8 years? What did they say about that?
No, when it comes to primaries, those key issues don't really bother to delegates.
Okay.
They're not the people like you and I. They have interest
in what is going on.
So they will look at certain things and elect a leader who will lead them. It is after the leader has been elected that the national issue becomes issue for them. But what you should bear in mind as a delegate is that you are electing somebody who will come and run against the whole country. Is that person you are electing viable? Okay. If you ignore that, you are committing suicide. Frankly, that's what it is. In many countries, they do internal polls to see which of them is the best. And some of them, when they go around to campaign for vote to lead their party, they show the internal polls that show that he's the best candidate compared to the other candidate. And that is some of the weapons you may have as a challenger. So look, the polling number shows that if I'm the candidate, I will do X better than this candidate. And that will be what really should be used in delegate, because at the end of the day, look, you elect him and the country may turn away. Look at different direction. You have not done anything. So we have to really make sure that the views of the country informs the decision the delegates take.
Absolutely. Let me come to you now, Hyde. Do you have a preferred candidate? Have you declared for any of the candidates?
Oh no, I mean,
you're not in any of their camps.
I'm a national officer. I'm more or less a referee, so
okay.
I can only sit
tell us
on
how
the fence
refereeing has been for you.
We'll moderate this, and at the end of the day, we hope that the MPP will come forward with our best foot. I mean, if you look at the personalities involved, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a fantastic personality. I mean, he's tried and tested. He's served this country in the best of capacities. I mean, we can lay credence to his interventions through digitalization. I mean, mobile money interoperability. I mean, a lot of ULEP projects which today Ghanaians are benefiting from. Again, we also know of Honorable Kennedy Oyine Japan, who has also contributed his quota to the development of this country through his business interests and media, I mean, investments. Of course, the new one of the block is Dr. Bernard Champo. We also know of a number of business interests and his contributions to this nation's development. Dr. Hiduchum is another fantastic personality. I mean, his interventions within the educational landscape is also something which is worth noting. Whoever emerges to lead the NPP among these people, I have no doubt, will be able to unite our front. For me, the bigger picture is that an army of chiefs led by a lion, comparatively, if you have an army of lions led by a sheep, the potency of that force is leadership. And that leadership is tied to how we are able to unite our front. That is not to say that we'll have our differences. But for me, having traversed the length and breadth of this country campaigning in a number of years, and my current role as a party officer of the NPP, I believe that unity is the biggest bane of the NPP today.
how we are able to unite our front. I have no doubt that whoever emerges among these people will be able to mobilize us and put us together and prepare this machinery for electoral victory come 2028.
Okay.
For us as a leadership, I can guarantee you that, I mean, beyond the perception and everything, we are going to ensure that the processes will be free and fair. And at the end of the day, be the best candidates that the masses of the NPP base chooses.
When the candidates spoke, did they address some of the issues that the executives have concerning the party and rebuilding and reuniting?
I think that the rebuilding process of the NPP has started, I mean, in earnest. There's been a number of visitations across the country. Some of these reforms that you've seen us champion in our recent delegates conference at Legon is some of the interventions we are doing, expanding the electoral college to ensure that more people have a say and have an opinion as to how our leaders emerge. It's part of the processes. Today, we want to elect a flag bearer where everybody says that I was part of the choosing of that person. So collectively, it's ours and not a select group of people. At no point in time would you say that you've satisfied everybody's, opinion. But notwithstanding, it's a step-by-step process. And I think that we've made some giant strides. And I have no doubt that the outcome will be accepted by all when we are done by 31st January.
What's the party doing to silence certain comments that smack of tribal, religious bigotry for certain candidates, and also that preferred candidate?
The party is not an autocratic party, so it doesn't seek to, silence critics or people who share opinions. What we seek to do is to try as much as possible to ensure that, irrespective of our differences, we are collective in our thoughts. And, I mean, dissuade our members from also engaging in some comments which in the long run tend out to come back to come and haunt us. A number of allegations have been made that certain comments by players within the party structure also contributed to opposition, weaponizing some of these comments to be used against us. It is not in our interest that we arm our opponents to work against us. So in the long run, we hope that if the process is transparent, it is free and fair, it is acceptable by all, that is the beginning of, our long walk to freedom. Essentially, when we are done with that, we expect that whoever also emerges as a leader will also try and build consensus by building bridges with opponents and people who are disgruntled. That's why I maintain that, I'm happy that some of our Fafranto brothers who have, irrespective of their ABC, I have no doubt that our man will also come back. Even the Fafranto man himself, his executive assistant has come back. And so a spokesperson will equally come back. But beyond all these things, I think that the NPP is united as ever. We'll have our differences going into this thing. We expect that, the tensions and some of these things, they are normal of the processes, but we'll come back victorious.
Thank you, Hyde. Solomon, I'm out of time, so I'm just going to give you a short.
No, why would you have to short change me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I cannot speak?
Speak.
You give me equal amount of time. No, this is a business of NDC, NPP. No. So let me go forward. First of all, no Afro-Franto member has left Afro-Franto. We are solid, we are united, and we are looking forward to bringing out political party. Which are evidence? You are here talking.
Please send them to my producer. My producer.
He just want to take my time.
Yes, please.
The movement for change, they told us that Afro-Franto had no more than 2 weeks lifespan. We formed the movement on the 25th of September 2023. Today is what? We are in August. We are not dead. We are metamorphosing into a political party. And very soon you will see the reason why he has to join us. We will grant all of them amnesty to join us in pursuing our political agenda. Let me tell you that they are only tickling themselves and lying. If I were the other candidates, I would not bother myself.
None of their candidates send shivers down your spine?
No, none of them. Who in there? You tell me. Does any of them sending shivers down your spine?
That is up to the opposition parties to say you are one. So
there is nothing in there. The only thing that is happening is that they are dividing and destroying their party further. Immediately, the vice president fired his nomination. Did you see the backlash from the other camps? Now, why must one person? My brother is talking about free and fair. There is nothing free and fair that they are doing. So I'm surprised that the other candidates have invested 4.6 million into this venture. When the party's own social media handles are used to broadcast a particular candidate's activities. Only one candidate. How do you then ensure there is free and fair or unity after the process? You were in this country when they were doing their National Delegates Conference. The other candidates complained that one person was showcased, was allowed to do whatever he pleased him to the detriment of the rest. So where lies the fairness? You understand? That's like I said, and I agree with Adenimo, that this the top-down approach is something that will further divide this country.
Okay.
I wish them all the best, but the issues that got the MPP out of power are still germane, are still relevant. Arrogance of power, galamsey, corruption, what do you call it, unemployment, all these things, they will come back and meet the people of this country with their candidate.
Okay.
You see, you rushed me. You gave me 10 minutes, you gave me 5 minutes.
We look forward to see what the movement for change would do.
Party, you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for making the time. 3 hours we sat down to look at all of these issues that are shaping national issues, and my guests at the table, Rashid Tanko Computer, who had to leave us as Deputy Director of Elections, NDC, Mr. Mussa Dankwah, Executive Director, Global Info Analytics, giving us all the data, the permutations moving into that Akwatia by-election and eventually the 2028 elections. Isaac J. Hyde, Deputy National Youth Organizer, MPP. Isaac, thank you so much for your time. Solomon Owusu, Senior Communicator for Movement for Change, bringing us all the things that we needed to fact-check. And Emmanuel, Kotin, Executive Director, Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. He was on Zoom. Thank you so much. We'll be speaking about the Akwatia by-elections, the MPP primaries heading into that, the 5 candidates that will be gunning for that. So I wanted us to speak about the Gbenyiri conflict, but unfortunately we are out of time. But let me remind you that the Bank of Africa understands that we all need some financial quick fix every now and then. So whether it's school fees, it's replacing that old refrigerator, or fixing the car engine to get back on the road, our quick fix loan package was made for you in mind. Seize the opportunity and let your tough times make way for that soft life that you've been dreaming about. So visit any of Bank of Africa branch near you today and enjoy unbeatable low interest rate, flexible terms, and straightforward application fees. Now, call Bank of Africa application process, I should say. Call Bank of Africa on 0302-429-333 or 0302-249-690, or chat them, fafa at www.boaghana.com for more information. As you know that terms and conditions apply. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. Thank you so much for your company, watching us online and on televisions everywhere in your home.
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same